fascists came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots, the maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in the Dublin street where the lion runs do be, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when they would come home tight, he'd invite the neighbours out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Kilshandra. Tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had nice bows and arrows. Of how brave you faced one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Kilshandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Kilshandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Kilshandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Kilshandra.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I am alive, and that is all I am prepared to say at this juncture. Yes, we're going to be on with Posh Bird, so good content awaits. But I just wanted to address something before we sort of got going. You may have noticed, if you are a regular long-time subscriberino, or just follower, lurker, chatter, whatever you are, that I've been streaming significantly less in recent weeks. I've still been streaming, you know, regularly, but not as much, or for as long during streams as well. I've often had, you know, a day or two off and things like that. And I thought I'd hoped that the problem, I say problem, that's a horrible way of putting it. The issue would have solved itself by now. Which is a very dry way of putting it when you realise what I'm actually talking about. Yeah, but it hasn't, and it doesn't seem like it's going to in the very near future. So, yeah. You may remember that a few months ago I told you sort of obliquely about some family-related health issues. One of which was that my we call her aunt, but what is she technically? Great aunt or something like that. Great, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, she's my mum's dad's sister, whatever the fuck relation that is. Anyway, we'll get to it. She's very old, like extremely old. She's nearly 90 now, I believe. 88, 89, something like that. Anyway. She's been, let's say the writing has been on the wall in recent weeks, which is a shame. And she's been in and out of hospital. She was diagnosed with cancer and all of this sort of stuff. And so we've been looking after her because she doesn't have anyone really left anymore. Because there was the two of them. There was let's call her Aunt Susan. And her technically her sister-in-law, because they both married brothers. Anyway, Aunt Jemima. Neither of those is the actual name of these people. Anyway, Susan and Jemima were basically like inseparable. You always talked about Susan and Jemima, not one or the other. They were always like together. Anyway, and Jemima died a couple of years ago. And she's basically been on her own with very little help because neither of them had kids or anything like that. So we've been taking care of her. And my mum, bless her, it's especially hard on her because like I'm not actually very close with Susan. I nearly said her real name there. Particularly, like we've always, she's always been very nice to me. Always get a fiver at Christmas and all of that sort of thing. But we don't like interact all that much. Anyway, but my mum, like, you've got to bear in mind, my mum's dad died when she was quite young, when she was like 11 or 12, right? And so having his sister still around over the decades in between then and now has been really important for her psychologically and emotionally, because it's like a part of her dad still there, because she can talk to Susan and like ask her about, you know, her dad and, you know, get information. It's like a bit of him still there. So seeing her slip into the inevitable, or slip towards the inevitable, has been difficult for her. So I've been helping my mum out with all of that, right? So I live in the very south of the city. Susan lives in the very north of the city, so it's been driving back and forward, driving her to fucking hospital appointments and doctor's appointments and all the rest of it. Which I've got no problem doing, right? That's absolutely fine. But it seemed like she was on her way out 6 months ago. And it's been dragging on and on and on. Now, I'm glad she's still alive. That's, you know, that's good. But it means, of course, that I've had to take on more and more both sort of physical labour but also emotional labour, looking after my mum and looking after this. And then also dealing with the fact that my relative is fucking wasting away. And all of that jazz. So it's been really emotionally and physically taxing for me over the course of time. Which meant that... I've missed loads of streams, which doesn't help me financially. So, you know, if you wanted to help out with that, that's cool. Not trying to, like, guilt trip you into, like, oh, give me money because my relative's dying. No, none of that bollocks, right? But, of course, this is what I do. So if you wanted to help out, you can. Yeah, but I just wanted to sort of be open and upfront about that because it doesn't seem like the problem is going to solve itself anytime soon, which is a horrible way of putting it, but... The Grim Reaper awaits us all. Let's not fucking beat around the bush on this one. And I'll keep you updated as we go along. But ultimately, there are going to be some days where I don't have the energy. It's just too much. You know? So that's just, I'm just sort of being open with you about this and telling you. Anyway, so that's just something I've got to deal with. and go forward with it, and we'll just have to deal with it anyway. You don't come to me for fucking to be depressed. Well, actually, you sort of do, I guess, but depressed about politics, not depressed about my personal issues. Anyway, so let us get up. What the fuck is that emote? Oh, it's a love heart. Oh, it comes up on the screen looking like a weird balloon or something, or a pair of bollocks. Anyway, yeah, right. Let us get to politics and that. Yeah. Let's not get depressed about let's not get depressed about mortality. Let's get depressed about something involved with politics that will make us think that actually dying seems preferable. Maybe Susan's soon fate may be preferable than the continuance of Keir Starmer's political existence. Was that too much? Maybe. Did it stop me? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Anyway. Hey, hello, comrade. How are you? I don't know if you caught last night's stream. We talked about Welsh stuff. Partly, because we were talking about the election results and that.
Hello, Kevin. And hello, Snap.
Hello there, Helena. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Apparently I'm better than AOC, according to Twitter.
Better than? In what respect?
Oh, because my name's MTG.
What? Hang on, you've lost me. I don't know what?
Oh, so have you not seen the drama?
No.
Oh, the drama is that, like, the Twitter leftists have decided that because Marjorie Taylor Greene opposes Trump being owned by Israel, that means that she's better than AOC.
Who said this?
Leftists on Twitter.
Honestly, leftists annoy the fuck out of me. Being a right winger looks so much nicer and easier.
It is. I mean, almost certainly both of those things.
Like it's really annoying. Leftists, you fucking pricks, really fucking annoy me. Stop it.
I mean, that has been the reality of being on the left forever. I'm sure Lenin said this too.
Yeah, basically my entire bit here is essentially what Lenin would have done if he was a streamer and not actually an important person who did things. Yeah. Instead of talking about doing stuff, he did stuff. The loser. Anyway.
Has he not realised that real practice is having a Marxist book club and taking no direct action whatsoever?
Literally. Well, we know the real communism is giving money to me and you on Twitch and Twitter.
So true.
Fact.
The return of the
That's how socialism happens, chat. Fact.
Literally very true.
Yes, thank you. I won't bother reading stuff out because I've got a guest. Or a co-host, I suppose, rather than a guest. Whatever. But thank you for your financial contributions, chat. I will spend it all on drugs. I promise you.
Yes. Probably the drug. I'm assuming the drug is most likely is going to be beer.
Or black tar heroin. One of the two.
At the Zach Polanski Emporium.
Well, every supermarket and indeed a kiosk outside of every school. It was in the manifesto. I definitely read it. Yeah, Keir Starmer told me, so it must be true.
Keir Starmer wouldn't lie, would he?
No. Apparently it's 35% off 5 gifted subs on Twitch. Thank you, Twitch, for interrupting my fucking stream to tell me that, you cunts. Anyway. So. Yeah, well, how was London, first and foremost? Because she went to that there, London.
Big Smoke. Yeah, it was good. I had fun. I didn't do very well, but I had fun.
Well, that's often the way. London is fun, but you won't do well. You'll get luckily you didn't get stabbed by Sadiq Khan personally.
True, I didn't have to stop off at Shattered Dreams Parkway.
See, I was going with mucking the right wing. You went straight for the partridge.
Absolutely, 100%.
You were Alan Maxing.
That's true. I can't kind of miss out on the partridge layup that you gave me.
That is true. I did rather set it up. Yeah. Anyway,
Lots has happened
A
since
lot.
we last spoke.
A lot has happened since we last spoke, yes. So the full results are in, apart from one or two mental places that for some reason still haven't declared. Not entirely sure what that's about, but hurry the fuck up, whoever you are. Yes, and I mean, a catastrophe? Starmageddon? I don't know what to say, really, other than it's just carnage.
Funny. Very funny.
It is exceptionally funny. Just sort of an update on my own patch. The Green Party guy got in this ward. Well done to them.
Hey.
That's awesome.
It looks like they can't make Al Khan's PM anymore then.
Well, quite so. Al Carnage. Nice. Thank you,
So
Dr. Phil
true.
Becker. Yeah. Literally, your tweet earlier, I saw your tweet about, imagine if Al Khan's is Prime Minister in 6 months or whatever. And I was like, are you trying to get me to commit suicide? Is it because this is how that happens? Please.
I mean, you'd be special. You'd be somebody who votes for actually be the person who votes for the Prime Minister.
I fucking wouldn't. Anyway. Calamity, that doesn't really work, but I appreciate the effort. Thank you. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so they got in, right? Again, I think I said this yesterday, but my viewers, you'll just have to fucking hear it again. The constituency here has been Labour since forever, literally, basically forever. The ward has been held at council level by Labour since 1994 or 92, I forget. And they win with thumping majorities. Do you want to know how well they did?
Go for it. Far away.
4th.
I love this song.
4th.
I love this song.
4th. They finished behind the Tories, and the Tories, like, people in this area would rather have a fucking spear through the neck than vote Tory. And they managed to get fewer votes. They got 117 votes. The Labour Party in an absolutely rock-solid Labour seat. They finished behind the Tories, but the adults have never been more in the room. You know?
This is the real adults in the room hours. Oh God, Are we enjoying the quiet, lads? Are we enjoying the quiet?
Like, it's Stover. It's never been more Stover.
More Stover, so true. Oh. If only it wasn't most of these places being won by fucking people like Reform.
Well, unfortunately, yes. I mean, I don't want to just talk about Birmingham, but yeah, the Reform Party are the largest party. It's very narrow, though. There's only, I think, is it 4 seats separating the top 4 parties or something ridiculous. The Reform are on 22, the Greens on 19, and then I think 17 apiece for the Labour and the Tories or something like that. So it's madness. But look, the Green Party did really well. Look, they went from, you've got to bear in mind, the Green Party, the politics of this city have always been amenable to the kind of politics the Green Party have, but they've never done anything here, right? Up until 2 years ago, they didn't have a single councillor. Then they had 1. Then there was a by-election last year, and they had 2. Now they've got 17. That's incredibly impressive for a party that basically functionally didn't exist in Birmingham 3 years ago. That's incredibly impressive.
I mean, the London swings have been fucking crazy. Just like four councils, 5 councils. 4 were expected, 1 wasn't. Just flipping totally.
Yeah.
Lots of them just straight to Green. Loads of no overall control with the Labour Party just kind of lagging in behind.
Yeah.
It's just it's absolute bloodbath.
I mean, I think probably the best example of the bloodbath was Wigan, a town in the north of England, one of the Red Wall places.
Lisa Nandy spot.
Where Lisa Nandy, exactly, yeah. Been solid Labour for years and years and years, decades, in fact. Labour were defending 22 seats. Do you know how many they lost?
22.
22.
The same is true in Waltham Forest. In Waltham Forest, they were defending 31 seats and they lost every single one to the Greens.
Like, I don't know how to get it across to anyone how bad this is. It's like, honestly, this is such a bloodbath, it might as well be an American school classroom. That's how bad this is.
Yep. So Wigan has elected a Labour MP ever since
you're having.
1918.
I was about to say the fact that you're having to scroll suggests it's a long time.
Yeah,
No,
there's not been anything other than a Labour MP since 1918.
since the First World War,
Yeah.
and they've just elected. Was it 24 out of 25 of them went to the Reform Party?
Yep.
Well done, Keith. You literally brought fascism to the UK. Thanks.
Well, it has been really funny listening to like the political commentators going, "Oh wow, they're losing so bad. They're losing places." Even Jeremy Corbyn held. I'm like, maybe there was a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a reason that Jeremy Corbyn held these places, and Sir
People-
Sensible, Sir Brill Cream can't do so.
Well,
Mr.
it's
adult.
But they seem to completely forget that Corbyn got 500,000 more votes than Keir did.
Got 40%.
Yeah, like that. He was actually quite popular in terms of the electoral, raw vote. Just didn't work out mathematically because first past the post is not a democratic system. Keir Starmer was never popular. It's just now he's about as popular as stubbing your toe and getting AIDS at the same time.
Inadvisable.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. The Road to Wigan Keir. Oh my god, that's so good. That's beautiful.
So fucking good.
Honestly, Mucky? I don't know how to pronounce that. Honestly, if you want, I will absolutely suck any part of your body that you want me to. That was delicious. Thank you very much.
That was good. That was good.
So this has all led to the sensible adults in the room being, like I say, about as popular as herpes at this point, and there's now a challenger has stepped forward, an absolute fucking unknown, a nobody, basically, in the form of Catherine West MP. Yeah, who, chat, indeed.
Literally no one. No one knows who the fuck she is.
No, but now she's a celebrity for a brief moment, and then we'll go back to the pictures and be deselected in the next election, I'm sure. But the point being, she's now come forward and said that she will challenge Keir Starmer if nobody else does by tomorrow.
Well, the line that she's going with is very specific, right? So when I first heard this, my initial reaction was, wow, I'm glad someone in the Labour Party at least realises that the building is on fucking fire.
Yeah.
You have just lost so many seats. It is the most insane bloodbath I think I've ever seen. In UK local politics.
1,500 seats.
Exactly. They've been absolutely routed.
Yeah.
Routed, right? Like, it's never been more catastrophic in terms of electoral losses at local elections, probably ever, for a sitting administration.
Yeah.
And so many people are there just going, oh, we need to just like rephrase our priorities, be better at communicating, have a social media strategy or whatever it is, rather than realizing that there is a central issue and it keeps coming up on the doorstep, it keeps coming up in focus groups, it keeps coming up in polling in terms of approval, like he polls worse than his own government, and its issue is Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, there are myriad issues about policy and things like that which can change, but you cannot change how people feel about those policies with Starmer's face in it. He is just this absolute negative polarization machine towards any policy that he puts his name to. Everyone hates it.
Yeah.
And so my initial reaction to Catherine West was going, well, at least someone realizes that this is DEFCON 1, right? This literally is make or break, live or die, political extinction territory for the Labour Party if they continue, not just with the current trajectory, but with the current leadership as well. But then somebody pointed out to me a really important fact on this.
Go on then.
Which is that there's a reason why. Her point wasn't just unless somebody else challenges Keir, it was unless somebody else who's currently in the cabinet can have an orderly transition so that they become prime minister. She's been put up to this by West Streeting.
Yeah, no, this is absolute snake territory, yeah.
Yep. She's literally been put up to it by West Streeting because they don't want a leadership election. They know West Streeting's going to lose.
Yes.
So by essentially giving the ultimatum of there will be a horrible leadership election, which again nobody in Labour really wants right now because it will throw the country into chaos, quote unquote. They want to make sure that there is anyone in the cabinet they can pass it on to. The only candidate is Streeting because Rayner is no longer in the cabinet.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure that Burnham hasn't got a seat. This is why they're on manoeuvres already. The axis of resistance is activated.
Resistance. Oh, that's horrible. And Clive Lewis doing what Clive Lewis does is preparing to stand down so that Burnham can stand and become an MP so he can challenge in Norwich. Which, like, I mean, firstly, I don't think even Burnham can win now in places because, like, the Labour Party are dead. It's over. Look, I don't know that there is a safe seat that they can definitely put him in and win.
Well, have you seen?
And they'd probably lose the mayoralty in Manchester as well.
And have you seen the polling Sorry, have you seen the results from Norwich Council? It's all green. It's a sea of green, and like the thing is that I genuinely think that if Andy Burnham stood in any seat in Greater Manchester or on Merseyside, he'd win.
Yeah,
because of the fact that it's Andy Burnham and he's the king in the north.
Yeah,
he does not have that same kind of personal level of recognition in fucking Norwich,
no,
right?
the people of Norwich have not massively benefited from the nationalisation or the publicisation, whatever, of the buses of Manchester.
Yeah, the B network does not serve Wyndham.
No, it does not. It does not. And so, yeah, he's just some bloke who was in the government 20 years ago. Who cares? Basically, you know, look, he doesn't have name. Look, he's well known to political nerds. Your average person in Norwich doesn't really even know who the fuck this man is. And it would be so obviously a case of carpetbagging. Like, he's not from Norwich, he has no fucking connection to that area. It was already a little bit weird that a Scouser ran to be mayor of Manchester, but they've sort of taken him in as one of their own. That's fine. But to go to fucking Norwich and be like, now I'm going to represent you guys. No, you're not. You're there to become Prime Minister, you cunt. Don't take these people for fools. They know this.
Literally, again, like, there is one thing that kind of links together all of the different factions of, like, the soft left and the right of the Labour Party, is that basically all of them think that the public is stupid. They genuinely think the public is entirely full of brain-dead morons.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Honestly, I think we will look back on Burnham being blocked from running in Gorton and Denton as Labour's last chance.
It's the moment that died. It's literally the night they died.
Look, they might have still been fucked anyway. That's perfectly possible. It could be that the teetering bus on the edge of the cliff would have gone over anyway, regardless. But at least they had a chance. If he'd run in that seat, he probably would have won. He certainly was the only Labour politician in the country who could have won, I think, realistically. And got into Parliament, challenged and all the rest of it, becomes Prime Minister. Maybe they turn it around to the point where at least they survive. I still don't think they'd win the next election, but they could have survived. Now it's too far gone, I think. Look at these numbers. These numbers are crazy. You can't lose 50% of the raw vote in like heartland areas and come back from that. This isn't just like people doing a protest vote or giving you a bloody nose. Because that's what used to happen with Blair, if you remember. At like European elections and local elections, people would vote for like anyone just to say to Tony Blair, fucking wind it in, you cunt. Stop it. Like, just chill the fuck out a bit. We know you've got a massive majority, but don't take it for granted. Sort of thing. Whereas with this, it's like people are just leaving. You opened the door and said, here's the door, you can leave. And they did.
In their droves.
Yeah.
In their absolute droves, right? And that's the thing, is that I do think Andy Burnham would have won Gorton and Denton. Remember,
Possibly,
loads of people voted for Green Party. Loads of people said that they voted to the Green Party on like the day, that they literally decided as a snap decision on the day to vote Green, which I think is a really interesting thing, that it showed that the Labour Party brand was just kind of totally broken, and it was a terrible campaign of running on stop reform rather than here's the positive vision we have for the country, because it doesn't fucking exist, right? And to hear Keir Starmer, when interviewed about this, essentially go, I'm going to lay out my convictions, and I'm like, first of all, if you had any convictions, you would have mentioned this at any point in the 11 years you've been a member of fucking Parliament, right? And second of all, that's what the manifesto is fucking for. Yeah. But instead, as we've pointed out many times already, we had 10 pledges to have 5 missions, to have 6 first steps for 3 shifts, for a Quango to be able to set out the task force for the milestone for the public's priorities, right? Like, it's been nothing. It's been empty. Like, if you need to do this 2 years into a parliamentary term and 11 years into being an MP and 6 years into your time being leader of the Labour Party, you fucked up. Fucked up. It's time to go.
Well, look, I haven't counted it up, but you'd be interested to see what have there been more of during the 2 years of his prime ministership: resets or nonce scandals.
It's difficult to be able to tell.
I don't know, but it's a high scoring match. Whoever won, yeah.
So true, so true. The pools have got nothing on that one.
True, exactly. The bookie cleaned up. No one was guessing 6-5. What?
So true. Somebody pointed out in chat though, if Andy Burnham did run in Norwich, he would definitely be able to win by being able to complain about the pedestrianisation of Norwich city centre.
Which he's dead against. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
traders need access to Dixon's.
They do. It's a massively important issue from 1996 or whenever that show was made. Oh god! That just happened. You get people because they've pedestrianised different bits of Brum as well over the course of time, and people are like, "You used to be able to drive down here." Yeah, but you've got feet, you cunt. Just walk. What the what? Like you can still go there. It's not been hived off as a private reserve. You can still walk there. What the fuck? Some people are such knobs. I swear to God.
So it's a viciously American opinion, that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need to be able to drive someplace. No, you don't. You actually don't. And look, to Americans, I know it might seem more convenient, but I assure you it isn't. Having places you can walk to and, like, in your own leisurely time, go about your business at various locations near to each other is much more convenient than having to drive 2 hours to go to a mega store. I promise you.
On top of this, like, the idea that driving is somehow more freedom, and I'm just like, I don't remember the last time I had to be able to take a bus test or pay for train insurance.
Well, not just that, of course, but the statistic, I think, is something ridiculous, like, regardless of the destination, 99.99999% of car journeys, the person who gets out of the car at the end of it never goes more than 2 miles from the car. So you're not more free. You're now tethered to the fucking machine that's poisoning the fucking planet. And I get that I'm a part of the problem. I know.
I mean,
right?
like,
but you can't
so
go anywhere. You have to. You're dependent on where you parked the fucking car, so you can't even walk places. Whereas when you're walking, you can just fucking walk. You can ramble. Just go places. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Oh, but yeah. No. That's I think that's basically the point I was going to make.
Yeah. So yeah. Basically, Keir Starmer's fucked is the main point there.
Yeah, and I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would very happy if they don't get rid of him and we just continually have more votes kind of being peeled off to the left, which would be significant improvement as far as I'm concerned, right? But
true, but that's almost like a kind of accelerationist point or something. Like, the country's going to get worse and worse. Living standards are going to drop because this fucking dullard has no idea. I can't wait to see how limp-wristed tomorrow's speech is going to be, because he's going to come and try out, and he's going to be, you know what he's going to be? The most sensible he's ever been, and that's it.
Literally, I just saw a post from like a Starmer loyalist. He wrote an article for Labour List, and it's titled, and I shit you not, chat, I swear this is true, by John Slinger MP. Serious times call for serious leaders.
Oh,
must say.
Oh no! No, they've learned zero. They've learned nothing. And you know how we know they've learned nothing? Because a little bit of news that got sort of lost in the ether of all this election coverage is that they took on board the fact that they lost, like, basically every Muslim vote in the country, would appear. Not just because of Palestine, but at least, you know, in part because of the whole genocide they've been doing. And they went, you know what we should really do just after the election? Okay, another £12 million arms deal with Israel.
Good. My favourite thing that they've done in the wake of this last election, which just flies in the face of rationality, is that if we can kind of summarise how these votes went in terms of Labour losing votes to both Reform and to the Green Party, is that what this is it's a repudiation of Blairism. That's explicitly what it's a repudiation of.
Yeah.
So the kind of equalities framework and the constitutional reforms of the Blair administration, the reformers all hate that kind of stuff. It's embedded kind of multiculturalism. It's embedded the kind of immigration kind of stuff that we'd had up until now. And it's embedded a more equal approach to the economy and things like that in terms of how you treat people within it, not in terms of the actual wealth disparity, right?
Yeah.
They all hate that kind of stuff. And yet the inequality of the neoliberal framework of Blairism that was entirely kind of copied carte blanche from the Thatcherite framework that had been built on top of, everyone in the Green Party hates that. So
Yeah.
what we have seen is this absolute like thermostatic reaction to the Blairite consensus that we've had and the Thatcherite consensus that was built on top of the last kind of 50 years or so.
Yeah.
And the initial thing, the very first thing Keir Starmer does upon seeing everyone say that Blairism is shit, bring back Harriet Harman and Gordon Brown.
Yeah, exactly. They're bringing back the husk of Blairism when people have just absolutely rejected it. And to be fair to, I suppose, not Blair, but Blairism, Blairites, whatever, like, times have moved on. You would expect people to want something a little different. Like, it clearly worked and was popular and successful for its time. However, I disagree with it or whatever. It worked. It was electorally very successful. And there were some good things that were done. Some bad shit as well, but whatever. But the problem is, these fucking boomer-ass bastards have not realised that times have moved on. They think they can still govern like it's 1995. And that's not, people don't want that. Well, no, they're not really boomers, I know, but they're Gen X, I suppose, but yeah.
Well, the thing is that what's interesting is that I don't think it's necessarily an age thing. Whilst I do think that it's true, I mentioned this in my video I put out over the weekend, the age kind of differential really is the big thing in terms of block voting in this country, right? Like the right block is predominantly people of above the age of 60, and the left block is probably people below the age of 50, right? Yeah. When it comes to the Labour Party, there is a real problem that they have in terms of the fact that no one who was previously part of their cohort of older voters recognises themselves in the people who represent the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Because it's not wrong to say that a bunch of people from the Labour Party who are MPs and stuff have working class backgrounds, right? A lot of these people have backgrounds that are working class in nature, like they all talk about their dads being tool makers and working in these kind of jobs, but that doesn't matter insofar as the lion's share of their career, because they are the beneficiaries of Blairism, has come from growing up in a council house, going to university, getting a good paying job, then being a highly paid professional for the entirety of their working career, then becoming a member of parliament. Because they think that means that they have a connection to Barnsley or to Wigan or to Halton or whatever it is, right, or Hindburn. And they don't see the fact that actually it's nothing to do with whether you have that background. It is what you've actually cut your teeth in as a person as you've grown up, right?
Yeah.
Or as you've been an adult. And so all these highly paid professionals who think their party is supposed to represent people who were industrial workers 30 years ago, because that's what they have in their mind's eye the Labour Party looks like, because they've built their lives based upon theory rather than upon experience.
Yeah.
And so they've tried to fit the square peg of the modern Labour Party into the round hole of a service economy in which most working people don't look like what they think traditional Labour Party voters look like. And so they've tried to angle their party towards them, and it's just failed spectacularly, because these older voters who may have worked industrial jobs, they want their pensions to go up and they want the house value to go up, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
And so all of these policies that all of the blue Labour types think are really good for those post-industrial communities, they don't care. They don't really care about this kind of stuff, because they're directed towards young people who, whilst they think these policies are fine, would also like you not to try and murder the disabled, which they're also doing. So they've essentially created the perfect policy prospectus to shatter their voting coalition, basically because they don't realise that the world has changed and they're living in a rose-tinted vision of a past that now doesn't exist in this future.
Wow, are you suggesting that Morgan McSweeney is not the political savant we were led to believe?
It's like that moment in The Simpsons with Homer like running around on the floor, like, someone I didn't think Mr. Simpson was the tactical genius I thought he was.
Literally. Yes. Shall we do some award-winning journalism?
I think one thing I do want to mention before we move on.
Okay.
Did you see the anti-Semitism march?
I heard about it because the BBC pushed it down my throat, but I haven't seen much about it. Why?
Well, so there's two things from it. First of all, they invited Kemi Badenoch and
Who?
Nigel Farage, Australia. They invited Nigel Farage though,
Okay.
and Richard Tice.
Okay.
Ed Davey and Pat McFadden.
Would that
showed up. He
be-
got booed?
Would that be the leaders of the party who just had a Holocaust denier elected in Merseyside?
And the guy who chanted "Gas the Jews" as a child.
Yeah. So, definitely, this was definitely an anti-Semitism march and not a Zionist front.
Well, the problem is there probably were lots of people who were there to be to oppose anti-Semitism, right? But there were a suspiciously large number of Israeli flags at this event.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. That's what I was guessing.
And weirdly enough, they didn't invite the only Jewish political leader in the country.
Well, yeah, because, and stick with me here, it's okay to be anti-Semitic against Jewish people as long as they disagree with you about an international policy issue. That's fine. You can just be anti-Semitic towards them because they're the bad Jew. So.
Yeah. Oh, and Peter Tatchell got attacked in public. He literally got beat. He got like fucking jumped. Not like in a paint, like not like he was walking with black eyes or anything, but there were ructions at the very least, because he's not like a weirdo Zionist, and so they attacked him for it.
Brilliant. So it can add anti-Semitism campaigners to the list of people who don't like him, along with like Robert Mugabe and people like that. So that's great company you're keeping there, lads. Really excellent stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, it was. It was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. Oh, and someone had said there that come up talking about how much they love Israel and Zionism. I was just like, okay, cool. It's so tilting. I want to be there to oppose anti-Semitism. Can we just stop mentioning fucking Israel, please?
Well, no, because that's all they're there to do. It's not about anti-Semitism. They just want to defend Israel.
I mean, that's so fucking stupid, isn't it? And like, Richard Tice was there talking about universities and the NHS. It's Project Esther. It's just Project Esther, right?
Yeah.
Like, they want to do what Trump is doing in the United States and cutting a bunch of funding for universities because they don't toe the line on Israel.
Yeah. So I assume, as pointed out in chat there, I assume that as Peter Tatchell, a gay man, was targeted at this event, there's going to be a Cobra meeting tonight. And a national emergency will be declared. This is a scourge that we need to put lots of money into, the police. What we need is a specific gay police force. Definitely. That'll definitely happen because, we live in a fair society like that.
Also, apparently there were Iranian Iranian monarchy flags at this anti-Semitism protest. Very, very strange. Very weird that such a flag would turn up. Also, another thing, so there's been some criticism of the left of late by saying, where is the left? Where is the anti-racist left when talking about anti-Semitism? I'm like, maybe there is a point that lots of people will, when you talk about anti-Semitism, will go, there's a genocide in Gaza, why should we have to care? And it's like, you should be able to care about more things at once, right? They should be caring about anti-Semitism, and you should be trying to make sure that you nix anti-Semitism in your movement when you see it, to make sure that you don't give people ammunition against you.
Yes.
As well as the fact that, on top of anti-Semitism being bad, right? Let's make that clear, right? But one of the things they keep saying is, where are the anti-Semitism marches from the left? And I'm just like, where are all of the people? Where's Nigel Farage and Richard Tyson, Kemi Badenoch and Ed Davey and fucking Pat McFadden, right? Nosferatu. Where are these motherfuckers at literally every single other anti-racism fucking demonstration literally in history ever?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because again, this isn't about anti-Semitism. This is about Zionism. They're just Zionists pretending.
Which is so tilting, because there's literally an anti-Semitism crisis. There were literally
there
was another attack on Jews literally on Saturday.
Yeah.
Some guy just got arrested for attacking 3 Jewish people in broad daylight again. Right? There's a literal actual crisis, and they're fucking making Israel.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's a win-win as far as they're concerned, because A, they don't actually care about Jewish people, so the fact that Jewish people are being attacked is irrelevant to them. And secondly, what they actually want is more violence against Jews, because what that will do is otherize Jewish people in the society and force more Jewish people to go and live in Israel.
And I'll be able to give them more justification for crackdowns and facial recognition and more opportunities to try and remove the fucking civil rights of people who support Palestine.
And of course, they love victim playing. They fucking love it. So people who aren't actually the victims in these situations love playing the victim on behalf of people who actually are victims, in order to defend their favourite ethno-state, of course. Yeah. So that's a grotesque extra to it. So again, the Labour Party have learned nothing. Absolutely
also,
nothing.
It was very funny that this is like a protest, a demonstration. Like, a fucking representative from the government turns up. I'm like, mate, you don't have to protest.
Yeah.
You are a government representative. You can just do policy. Like, why are you on a demonstration if you're a government minister? The whole point of demonstrations is to try and get the government to change policy and have a specific a specific
Well-
demand from the government of the day.
Yes and no. I will say showing solidarity and standing shoulder to shoulder with people with whom you agree is in of itself worthwhile. Now, of course, the thing that they're actually standing in support of is disgusting, i.e. the support of Israel. But like I say, I think actually turning up to these things, even if you are a government minister, is a worthwhile endeavour. I'll give him a pass on the theory, if not the application.
Okay, touche. I mean, I guess it's just, I feel like right-wingers think that all protest is just about virtue signaling, basically. The protest is just about standing around saying, I believe this thing, look at me, rather than protesting because you have a specific demand in terms of policy change from the government of the day.
Yeah.
Right, like, people didn't demonstrate against Iran, the Iran war, the war in Iraq because they felt like they thought war was bad. They wanted the government to not.
Yes. Yeah, there was a specific don't do war vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
They must think that the people protesting for when it comes to Palestine again, the reason why they call it a hate march is because they haven't recognised, first of all, because they want to smear them, but second of all, they haven't realised that there is a real policy goal. Expel the ambassador, do sanctions, engage in BDS, remove trade agreements, right? Like, there are so many things that they could be doing that they're not doing, and instead they're flying fucking spy flights from RAF Akrotiri, right? We're not protesting for Palestine because we love Palestine necessarily. We're protesting because the government is doing bad things and we want them to fucking stop.
Yeah. I am being anti-warist. This is true. I am a bigot against war. I will say that. 100%. Anyway.
Right, shall we do some award-winning journalism?
Let's doing award-winning journalism then, because Laura awaits. And I'm sure this is going to be just an absolute doozy. Yes, there he is, the at time of recording Prime Minister. But Keir today, gone tomorrow.
Can he go on? The Prime Minister under pressure after a devastating verdict from voters. There's a possible challenge from the backbenches if the Cabinet don't move to take him out. Sir Keir Starmer has vowed that he will not stand down, warning of chaos if there's a leadership contest and asking for...
Oh yeah, because it's all going so well. We wouldn't want any chaos to interrupt all the quiet.
Literally,
10 years in power.
It's everything they said literally everything they said he wasn't going to be.
Yeah.
Oh dear. If only anyone on the shitpost left on Twitter had said anything, maybe someone might have paid attention.
True.
What's the thinking behind Number 10's front door this morning? How does Keir Starmer plan to stay under that roof?
Yeah.
Former Minister Catherine West joins us this morning to tell us that she will stand for the leadership if the Cabinet doesn't listen. The Education Secretary, Bridget.
And it's good to see that the Greens won so many seats that they've disappeared. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to know we could just... Doesn't
Second
matter.
in the projected national vote share.
No, just go with the Tories, who no one voted for. And
Literally nobody voted for them.
And then a random backbencher. Brilliant. Yeah. Go West. Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, they keep saying that we need to save the West. Maybe the West is going to save us.
So
Ayo!
true.
Phillipson is here, one of those Cabinet ministers, and there's a fight for the right too. James Cleverly for the Conservatives is with us this morning.
Honestly, that fucking... The Starmer haircut needs to die as well. They've all got that fucking stupid haircut. Stop it.
Oh, all the women have the fucking the Fabian helmet going on as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's precisely what I was referring to. Yeah, the melon cat thing. Yeah.
After significant Tory losses and the big winners at the ballot box, Reform, their deputy leader, is with us too. Now, Catherine, you are directly calling on the Cabinet to move against Keir Starmer. One of them's here, Bridget Phillipson. What's your message to her?
Well, there's nothing stopping Bridget from standing. Why are all the men...
Oh, yeah, just to bear in mind, this person's also Australian. So...
I think we've got Natalie Bennett in the Greens.
Well, yeah, but that's a good Australian. I'll allow some of them, but like...
Ben Habib was born in fucking Karachi.
Oh, that's okay. That's no problem with that.
Better than the women. We do need some senior women to step forward and to challenge for what is going to be a really difficult 2.5 years between now and the general election, and also to take us into that second term.
She's really laying down
What's
the
interesting as
gauntlet,
well...
Bridget Phillipson.
It's actually is that obviously Wes Streeting is very ambitious, but literally nobody in the cabinet is good at anything. They're all apart from obviously my Ed Miliband, right? They're all just fucking rubbish at everything they've ever done.
Yeah.
The idea that I think Bridget Phillipson has been groomed to be like a future leader because she's a woman and she's from the north, right?
Yeah.
She had a Sunderland accent for a time that has now gone,
Yeah.
right? But that means that there's no one to replace him because they've literally tried to formulate the entire cabinet and PLP so that he can never be challenged. And then they've just got into government, realised that he's literally the problem, and they're left up shit creek. It's very funny.
Yeah, very true. She's Australian. Why is she not upside down? I said she's Australian, not Mussolini. Don't be silly.
Hey.
Lols in chat. 707s. Let's go.
And what do you say to her?
I love you dearly, Catherine, but I just disagree on this one.
Okay, well, we'll get
Passive aggressive bitch moment of the week. Make that sound alert.
stuck into those arguments at greater length later in the show. And Plaid Cymru, the Welsh National Party, are in.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful moment. They just
It was, wasn't it?
like just spontaneous. They just went, "Fuck it, national anthem time, motherfuckers." No
And
new.
then Free Up Your with speech.
Yeah, literally, he was just talking, and they just look. It was the power of the crowd just made it happen. No musical accompaniment, no words on paper, nothing. It just happened. That's beautiful. That's a look, and I think I sort of said this yesterday. It's good. It's nice to see the people of Wales and Scotland like getting to their feet as nations and deciding actually we can just do our own fucking shit. This is awesome. We don't have to be under the boot of fucking Westminster. Let's go.
It's great, and it's really nice to have a nationalism that isn't just like weird ethnic fucking.
Well,
supremacy,
exactly,
you know?
yeah, exactly. Like I mean, I've been through this before, but there's two main strands of nationalism. You have liberation nationalism, which is like post-colonialism and stuff like that. Or actually, India's a perfect example. You have the nationalism of liberation and independence, and then you have the Hindutvas.
Well, yeah, but yeah, there's two. It's interesting. They have two nationalist parties, and literally the opposition is the Indian National Congress, right?
Yep. Gandhi's old.
I mean, Jawaharlal Nehru. I think that's how you pronounce his name, unless I'm very much mistaken.
Yes.
He was a liberation nationalist, and now we have it's liberation nationalism versus fascism.
Yeah.
Unless you live in Kerala, in which case you can vote for communists. Pretty cool.
Literally, yeah.
Full voice after their historic win. The man likely to take charge in Wales, Renat Yor.
Well, quite right. You may not have been born in Cymru, but Cymru can be born in you. As a person who took Wales to their heart and is a Welsh Rugby Union fan, I know this all too well. It's a beautiful thing.
Will join us live from.
He is the ugliest beautiful man I know. God bless a face only a rugby scrum could love, and yet a lovely guy with pretty decent politics by the looks of it. I'm okay with him. Let's go.
Cardiff. And joining us at the desk on this busy morning, Sharon Graham, the head of the big union, Unite, elections legend from the BBC.
Jesus, Sharon, why are you still paying Keir Starmer money? Stop it!
I mean, they can't disaffiliate until delegates vote for an AGM, right? I'm assuming it will happen when that AGM happens, but we shall see. Also, according to Peston, a minister says that they don't think that Keir will survive the week, and that Catherine West is going to get the nominations she needs, and they will be basically. It's very likely there's going to be a leadership election.
And by the way, Catherine West will not be Prime Minister. She is a stalking horse. I mean, presumably put up by, like you say, by Wes Streeting, but will open the door for every fucker. Because once there's a thing, everyone can put their names forward, and I presume there'll be several snakes lying in the grass waiting for their moment. You know.
I mean, it would be really funny. It would be incredibly fucking funny if every 81 members did put their name forward. Nobody else got the nominations, and then she beat Keir Starmer in the leadership election.
If Catherine West becomes Prime Minister, that would be... Honestly, I'd be okay with that. I know I had a problem with Al Khan's because he's a nobody, but at least she's a nobody with some fucking balls. She stepped forward and did the thing. If she becomes Prime Minister, you know what? Anyone who can take the sword from the stone, have a go, I guess. Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
I mean, literally, like fucking. It would also be peak banter timeline, wouldn't it?
It would be amazing. Would that be more embarrassing than losing to a lettuce? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not. I think the lettuce was more well known than Catherine West.
Jeremy Vine and former
The messy queen! Ah! She's taken a day off from the. No, actually, no. I was about to say she's taken a day off from the booze. No, she hasn't. She's got a vodka bottle on her somewhere.
Conservative
Yeah,
Minister,
like
now
what?
member
On
of the
a hip flask.
Yeah, definitely. Or just an IV drip under the dress.
Nadine Dorries. Morning, morning. Let's start, as we always do, by what's making the news on this extraordinary weekend. And no surprise, the Prime Minister's story is on most of the front pages. His attempted...
I want 10 years in number 10. Yeah, good luck with that one, mate.
It would be funny, again, just like clinging on like a fucking limpet and just gets the most humiliating fucking election defeat ever in 2029.
If he does, honestly, if he does, hang on. I mean, he'll be the first Prime Minister ever voted out. That's guaranteed, because there's no way he wins that fucking seat. And secondly, it could be a genuine, complete wipeout. There could be like 4 Labour MPs left or something. Because it's not going to get better with him there. Everyone fucking hates him.
Fight back, he tells the Sunday Mirror.
Also, look. The Mirror, I know you're a sort of Labour supporting paper, but this is just propaganda. This is not journalism. You're not doing reporting here. This is embarrassing. Fucking hell. The dear leader says we're going to help cut your bills. Fuck off.
He'll help cut your bills. And he's told The Observer that he's not just going to stay for now, but he wants 10 years in office. The Sunday Telegraph.
Okay. Is that the most bunker moment ever? Is that the most, like, I have no touch with reality whatsoever? That he's like, I want 10 years in Downing Street. I mean, maybe if you transform into Larry the Cat, you might be able to stay there for 10 years. But not as Prime Minister.
Speaking of 10 years, why is Keir Starmer getting married to Gordon Brown? And when did Rachel Reeves train as a fucking...
You know what? I ship it. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. They're my favourite old gay couple. God bless them. I mean, they're both war criminal scum and should be at The Hague. But other than that, we stand.
And the Sunday Times both lead on the government's woes with photographs of Gordon Brown's surprise return to government. And
I was going to say return to life because I thought he was dead. I thought they brought him out of his coffin, out of his sarcophagus.
Yes, I'm sorry. Certainly, I thought his political career had died long ago. But turns out it's not over. They keep bringing back the big guns. It turns out the big guns are firing inward.
Yeah. Also, they've taken their absolute evisceration in Scotland so well. They brought back the guy who everyone hates in Scotland because he lied to them before the referendum vote. Okay, cool. Yeah, amazing stuff. It was really funny, by the way, to see Anas Sarwar concede defeat within a nanosecond of the count starting. He was like, yeah, no, I lost. Yeah, no, I'm fucked. Yeah, got in on the list though, obviously, but oof, grim. By the way, also quick shout out. Don't want to make this the focus of tonight's nonsense necessarily, but just wanted to point out that J.K. Rowling is now represented by a trans person at Holyrood, and that warms the cockles of my heart. Because her seething is beautiful.
It's so true. It's so true.
Absolutely glorious stuff.
And Catherine West planned to force the government to remove the PM. We'll talk to her shortly. But the Mail on Sunday suggests that the Prime Minister might have lost the plot. And the Express features the man...
Might have. That might is doing a lot of lifting.
...and who's cleaning up. Nigel Farage, who's vowed that the best is yet to come. And news also this morning of what's going on in Tenerife. This is the scene at the port where the cruise ship MV Hondius, where hantavirus struck, is arriving this morning, almost a month after the first passenger died on.
And already the hantavirus has thrown its hat in the ring and has a better chance of winning than Keir Starmer.
I saw an incredible meme, right? Remember the social contract meme where it's just like working guy age 30 pays money in taxes, which gets sent to pensioners so they can go on P&O cruises, right?
Yeah.
And then they bring the hand-to-hand virus back with them to infect Nick 30.
Let's go. Honestly, why do cruises exist? What is the? I don't see the appeal. You're on a ship. You're on a floating hotel that might sink. That's always an issue. A regular hotel won't sink, so that's an advantage right there. You're not on land, so you can't go places really. You're surrounded by strangers, having to go to the same places on the same ship all the time, and you might have an outbreak of Hanta or Legionnaires or fucking something like. Nah, fuck that noise.
I mean,
No,
it's clearly it's a holiday for old people because you literally someone else does the moving for you for the entire trip.
Yeah, but you're not moving anywhere like the moving isn't interesting. Like they dock at a port and you can go places, but again, you can't really go far because you've got to get back on the ship and it's got like a fucking timetable. It's not going to wait for you.
Yeah,
You know.
I guess if you go to like a beach holiday in the Med, you can see the sea the whole time.
Yeah.
And also see other things. Your cruise ship, you will literally just see the open seas for the entire fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like going to a place and exploring the place that I went to, rather than just looking at some waves. As a couple from Norway have aggressive, loud sex in the fucking cabin next door. Like I don't. That's not interesting to me. Thank you.
Yeah, and also as Becca points out as well, sometimes you will just be sick. The water is not always calm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, we had a terrible one once coming back from France on the ferry. The seas were so rough; it was awful. Like literally, I now realise why on those ferries the fucking tables are screwed to the floor.
Yeah.
Because the chairs were going everywhere, and I was like, I can swim, but there's no chance if this goes to I'm fucking dead. Like what the fuck? I was like, I feel, you know what? I get what it feels like to be on the Titanic. But, unlike them, I survived. 1-0 Kev. Fucking losers.
Bored. Well then, let's get stuck in. Sharon, you've been a critic of the Prime Minister for some time.
I don't know that you can say that someone who gives a person millions of pounds is a critic. Like, she said some harsh words, but she's also funded his political party. So
I mean, to be fair, because it's a political donation, right? The Unite members who are paying their dues specifically opt in to pay this party.
that is
right?
that is literally true.
It's a specific decision of the union's members to be the ones who fund it, and you have to think, what the fuck are those people doing?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just do it out of happenstance. Really, it's just like they don't object rather than actively going, yeah, no, you can pay my shirt. Like it's just, yeah, you have to go up at a meeting and say, I don't want this to happen on my behalf, which can be a bit embarrassing. So people just don't bother, you know. Anyway, but yeah. Remember the ferry that sank? I do, yeah, the Costa Concordia. Yes. That's actually a really fascinating... You should look into that that crash. Because I didn't realise, when you signal SOS on the airwaves, the person who responds becomes the captain of that ship. Because essentially you're saying, I'm not in control of this ship anymore. We're fucked.
Oh, it's like Keir Starmer.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And so you have to take orders from the person who at the port that you're communicating with.
Is that like Morgan McSweeney?
Yeah, the Morgan McSweeney Harbour Master. Yeah, and there's a fantastic, or I'd say fantastic, grim and horrible audio of it has to be translated because it's in Italian, but the guy's like, literally screaming at the guy, "Get the fuck back in the room! What the fuck are you doing, you pigs of shit? People are gonna fucking die, you cunt!" Like he's absolutely bawling at him, and this guy's clearly cracking up, like under the stress of the situation. And now he's in jail for like ever, basically, because they did him for murder. Oh, was it murder or manslaughter? I forget, but he's in prison until he dies, basically. Yeah. Anyway,
But these are terrible results. But if you go into a leadership contest, isn't that just more chaos?
Well, look, the problem we've got here and why this has happened, and it's important to look at that, is that Labour have not delivered. They have not delivered for workers and they've not delivered for communities. And the way that people see it, I was in Barnsley last weekend, I was in Wakefield this weekend, and the way people have seen it is that Labour have abandoned the working class and the working class have now abandoned Labour. And unless they take a completely different direction, it's no good just tinkering around the edges. They must take a completely different economic direction and political direction. I actually think we're in a situation here where they could be extinct. There's no God-given right for Labour to exist. They are either there to defend workers and communities, that's what they were put there to do, or they're not. And if they don't do that, there are serious problems ahead for the entirety of the Labour movement.
Jeremy, what do you make of that?
I think that's amazing what you just said. And of course, we're in this weird time at the moment where it is possible to imagine parties going extinct. It may even be happening in front of our eyes. I had a call from, I'm just going to read out.
It's happened across the continent. We're just sort of 10 years behind, insulated by, I suppose, economic separation and a little bit of being richer than a lot of other countries. But if you look at the traditional parties in a lot of places, they're dying or are dead. Look at France. The two traditional parties that would literally, the presidency was swapped between the socialists and the conservatives. Neither have any chance of winning ever again. Mm-hmm. It's over. Like, it's literally, it's Weaver? No, that doesn't work. Anyway, it's over, for those political parties, to the point where you can have like a fucking nobody with a new party, like Macron, become president. And that's essentially, I mean, the Green Party obviously already existed, but as a political movement, the kind of Polanski wave, as it were, is a completely fresh thing. And is now one of the genuine major forces in British politics, which is mad, because he interviewed you! That's so fucking dope! We don't talk about that enough. That's really cool.
Thank you. I mean, like, what's interesting, there's lots of people that talk about, well, how do Labour rebuild their coalition? They don't. It's over.
Yeah.
They don't seem to realise that how over this is, and how, like, creaking at the seams electoral coalitions that were shattering, right? That were actually shattering. They were like coming apart throughout the entire Blair years. Throughout the entire Blair years, they were coming apart, right?
Yeah.
These coalitions were never built to last because of all of the changes that we'd seen in terms of politics, in terms of ideological positions, in terms of regional differences, etc. There's so many different things that were never compatible, and they were held together because of the nature of first past the post, and they were just. The Labour Party abandoned so much of what they said that they stood for to entirely target swing voters. Everybody who they thought they used to stand for is all left, and they are two disparate groups. Yeah. Right? They're two disparate groups, two different culturally different, politically different, ideologically different, and they're never coming back together.
Yeah.
And almost certainly, because we're seeing now again, like it used to be that Labour had an older and a younger cohort. That's just not true anymore. It's just not true anymore. Like, the biggest divider now is age in terms of how people vote, and that's where the political blocks have been formed.
Yep.
And those blocks won't come together because they represent different parts of the same block.
Yeah, and I don't want to like blow my own trumpet too much, but a thing I've been saying for basically the entirety of Keir Starmer's run as the leader is that he's trying to get reform voters to come back to him. He's trying to appeal to voters who will never, ever, ever vote for him or the Labour Party. And it's been borne out. It just happened. They won 0 votes back from reform. At all. They lost votes to reform. Because, if you want to vote for reform, why would you vote for reform without a hinterland?
Well, the thing is, the other thing as well is that they thought they could just rhetorically gain ground on them.
Yeah.
In terms of this fight, whilst not actually delivering all of the stuff that they wanted, But the problem, of course, is that it isn't the rhetoric. They wanted actual change. I mean, lots of them just wanted refugees, fucking drowned in the channel, right? That's basically what the right-wing position is on refugees. They reduced, legal migration, but didn't really do much about irregular migration in terms of smashing the gangs or whatever, but postured like they had done.
Yeah.
And by embracing the rhetoric, they have cemented it into the public consciousness. They've created it. They've made it the median political position, which it clearly is now. And then they failed on the delivery of the things that the people really wanted out of it, and so it's become a salient issue that they failed on. It's literally what the Tories did, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember, like refugee stuff was a big bugbear for the right in the Boris Johnson era, but it never defined politics. It never defined the political zeitgeist. The thing that made it the top of the political zeitgeist, it was Rishi Sunak standing up on a platform saying, stop the boats. Because they couldn't run on the economy, they had to run on this dumb fucking refugee shit. And then Nigel Farage took over the wing to say they'd failed in it, having they make it the salient issue. And now Labour are doing the same thing. They are literally making their own bed.
Yeah. Well, because, again, they've done the same thing with the left that they did, with the right that they did with the left, in a sense, that you can say a thing and then not deliver, and that's enough. Just sort of echoing a thing that people want and then doing nothing about it is all Keir Starmerism. Starmerism is just that. It's just an empty set of words and no action underneath it at all. So they'll say, smash the gangs, and then do nothing. Which, like, regardless of what you think about Labour Party's rhetoric on immigration and stuff, if it's meant to entice people from reform, you actually need to follow through on it. You can't just say island of strangers, which will alienate all of your progressive voters, and then do nothing to actually bring about what reform want. So they're trying to appeal to two, like, as you say, completely disparate groups of people, and offering nothing to either of them. So they're basically eviscerating votes left, right, and centre, and here we are.
Yep. And this is all the strategy was going to do. They were told time and time again it was going to happen. We all predicted it on the left. We all predicted it was going to happen, but nope. The fucking myopia of the centrist Labour Party, and indeed the centrist media, who saw Sir Broilcreen the Sensible and thought, this is the guy who's going to create this ocean of tranquility, as Andrew Marr put it, on the Question Time. Well, and, of course, none of that actually happened.
Well, it turns out we don't live in a vibocracy. You need more than just vibes, yeah? You need some actual policy and a plan, and not just a quango to set up a plan for a turning point, to turn the corner for 4 missions, to fucking sticking plaster politics up your arsehole. It doesn't fucking... It's nothing. It's not even bad policy. It's no policy. It's nothing. You can't succeed if you don't do anything. Anyway.
A comment from a Radio 2 listener who we put on the air. Bob Johnston in County Durham was among a lot of people who say swapping out Starmer may not be the answer. He says, though I'm not a Labour supporter, I feel that replacing Starmer with one of his would-be successors would be like soiling your trousers and changing your hat. So...
Did he put it like that? Because I feel like you might have cleaned that text up a bit.
I think this sort of Tinder swiping through lots of potential...
Well, this is the thing. If they just replace Starmer with Streeting, then nothing will change. Because they're the same person, basically. They believe the same things, they have the same policy, they have the same annoying personality traits. Maybe he has a hinterland, so maybe that's an advantage, but other than that, like, it's the same... Yeah, it's
Dross.
Yeah, you're replacing Spider-Man with Spider-Man.
Literally.
Successors like the Tories did may upset people even more.
Well, Nadine, you were there when the Conservatives did swipe through leaders, as Jeremy suggested. I mean...
Well, true, but they actually found a leader who was quite popular, especially amongst Conservatives at the time, in Boris Johnson. They actually did, they actually hit upon a thing that worked electorally. It's just that Boris Johnson is also a feckless weirdo who can't govern. So that's a problem.
It's really funny. Like, literally, Boris Johnson could actually have been Prime Minister for like 15 years.
Yeah,
he
was popular enough, and he had all the support of the establishment because he's a fucking posho.
Yep.
You know?
Just couldn't stop hiring people who touch people that they're concerned with.
Well, yeah, and of course, Partygate and the phenomenal corruption. People forget about that, but like... wallpaper. If I had £1 trillion, I would never spend that much on wallpaper. Why would you? What the fuck are you? What world are you from where you would spend tens of thousands of pounds on wallpaper? You might as well literally paper your wall with cash. Literally £20-50 notes would be cheaper. Yes, fucking mad cunt. And he was ambushed by Cake. God bless him.
What do you think they should do? And as somebody who wants reform to do well, would it be better or worse for you if Keir Starmer stays in the job?
Well, can I just say I was also there when Labour were changing leaders from Tony Blair to Gordon Brown, and been through it with Labour too. in the House.
Okay, but that's one. That's one change. That's not cycling through. That's they change, and that was the most telegraphed change of prime minister ever. We knew about that since 1995. That was going to happen. Like, this wasn't Liz Truss being prime minister for a month and then bringing in someone even shitter, someone who lost to her and the lettuce. No, that was like he was the fucking chancellor for like 12 years or whatever it was. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Starmer's our best asset. But for the sake of the country, I mean, he truly is. And he's reached a state now of delusional hubris. If what he's saying is he wants 10 more years, he shouldn't have 10 more minutes. And Catherine's a very brave...
Oh, she's...
See, she's the messy queen. The messy queen's correct.
Oh, don't... Keir Starmer, you're such a cunt. You've made me agree with Nadine Dorries. A person who has alcohol so high in her bloodstream that it's more alcohol than blood. She looks really old now as well, by the way. Actually, well, to be fair, she is. That's not a surprise.
But the reality is that she's looking her age.
Yeah.
Rather than for every time up to now, where she had looked incredibly, significantly younger than her age.
She did, yeah. Which does make you think maybe she didn't take politics very seriously, because usually the stress of high-level politics ages people. Whereas it seemed to sustain her youth, and now she's retired, she's like... Yeah.
Dude, she's almost 70. Fuck
yes,
hell.
no, she is old, yeah.
Woman to stand up and say that, a lone voice in the Labour Party. But no, we'd love Starmer to stay there, but for the sake of the country, because he could be there for 3 more years, then really that Labour should change their leader. And
see, that's literally what I said. Keir. Oh, you're a fucking knob, mate.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, actually, as has been said many times, right, is that Keir Starmer makes it very, very difficult for the public to agree on anything.
Yeah.
Apart from one very, very specific thing. You'll fucking hate him.
Yeah, exactly. He has unified the country in hating him.
And then what's really funny, like, there's a really big they keep doing segments like this on, like, the call-in shows and on the media, like, why is Starmer so viscerally hated? What is it about them that everyone hates? I just don't get it. Why can't anyone explain to me why he's hated? I'm like, he lied about everything.
Yeah.
All he does is lie.
Yeah, literally. By the way, complete aside, chat, but I've just noticed because I shifted. I can't really show you because it would involve a trapeze or something. But my mum, God bless her, she buys me Christmas socks at Christmas, which is very fun. But I'm currently in the middle of May wearing a pair of socks that say ho 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 on them.
We're doing some gardening, are we?
Or engaging with sex workers.
There you go.
And I hear what you're saying, Jeremy, but you know, this man is Prime Minister. He's responsible for running the country. And one of the most difficult and politically challenging times of our generation, we need someone who's able to do the job, and certainly not someone...
What, like Nigel Farage, who can't even do the job of being one MP? He can't even do that. How the fuck would he be better? He doesn't turn up to do the job he currently has.
He's delusional in the way Starmer is.
OK, well, we will get into it now with members of the Labour Party. Goodness knows what they're thinking in number 10 this morning. Behind that door, they are...
Honestly, let Larry in and just let him take over. It's the only answer. Larry for PM.
I mean, that's the most unifying thing outside of the hatred of Starmer is the love of Larry.
Yeah, no, Larry is a national treasure.
Preparing for the Prime Minister to make a big speech tomorrow. Of course, there's the King's speech coming on Wednesday, when the new laws that the government would like...
Is someone going to let that fucking cat in? Or is that's not a still image, is it? It's difficult to see because nothing's moving, but...
...to pass will be published. Keir Starmer knew it was going to be bad, these elections, but perhaps not as dire as it really has been. Well, let's talk to the woman of the hour, Catherine West, former Minister and Labour MP, who joins us now. Now, you're asking the Cabinet to move. Why?
What I'd like the Cabinet to do is to reflect on the result from Thursday, where the voters sent us a very strong message that we are not good enough. If you were a school failing an inspection report, you would take the head out, wouldn't you? Or you'd take the chair of the council out. The same goes for hospital inspection.
I wouldn't say that Keir Starmer should be assassinated, Catherine.
Yeah, true. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Is this a safe space? I don't know. She looks like the granddad from King of the Hill.
I've not seen enough King of the Hill.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. People in chat, I think you know who I'm talking about. She look. Is it Harry Hill's dad? Oh, Hank Hill, I should say. Hank Hill's dad. She does look like him, right? Yeah, people are agreeing. Yeah.
Or in a company, the CEO would have to take responsibility and the board would have to basically bring on new leadership.
Except that.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. But Keir Starmer kept telling me over and over and over again that he did take responsibility. He's taken responsibility for so much. He took responsibility for the failure with regards to Winterfuel. He took responsibility with the failure over the appointment of the yum friend of Jeffrey Epstein. He is taking responsibility for the failure in these local elections and the last set of local elections. And indeed in terms of the problems in Gorton and Denton. Like, he's taken so much responsibility. It's incredible how that responsibility always takes the form of other people's careers.
Cotton Hill is the character's name.
Okay.
And she does look like him. I'm just saying. It's not relevant to anything, but I am correct.
Huge mandate. Not even 2 years ago, Labour has repeatedly criticised what the Conservatives did, changing the leader, that psychodrama that, you know, dominated the country for such a long time. And some of your colleagues have told us it's not really serious for you to do it in this way.
Well, politics moves very quickly. When Gordon Brown and Harriet Harman were around, reform wasn't, and it wasn't a national force. We didn't just lose in London to progressive parties. We also lost, obviously, in Wales and Scotland, and the share...
Yeah, you lost to progressive parties there. You lost to progressive parties, to fascist parties, to the fucking Lib Dems.
Yeah, I mean, like, when Ed Davey is dancing on your tombstone, you know shit's gone fucking up.
Yeah.
You know you fucked up. You know you fucked up.
Yeah.
To reform was very high, and we need to be honest with ourselves and face the facts that a party that can just magic up £5 million is up against us, and we need to actually understand and hold them to account as to where the 5 million came from, because they're using that money now.
Well, you weren't really asked about reforms donations, you were asked about Keir Starmer. I mean, the question was, Keir Starmer won this 5-year mandate. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's not how parliamentary democracy works.
No.
The House of Commons has a mandate to select the Prime Minister for 5 years, and at any point they could declare no confidence in him.
Yeah, they can remove... Again, the executive sits at the behest of the democratically elected body. That's it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That is it. That is the only thing that has a mandate for 5 years, is the currently elected parliament. And they can do whatever they want as long as there is democratic will amongst those elected members. They can get rid of Keir Starmer, they can change whoever they want.
The reason, chat, that she sounds Australian is because she was born in Victoria, in Australia. Which is fine, because in British politics, unlike weird American bullshit, you can just be born anywhere and you can come here. And if you're a citizen, you can stand. It's fine. None of this natural born bullshit. Which is so weird from a nation of immigrants that they do that, but okay, cool.
Fucking bloody Anglo-Saxons coming over here.
True.
Literally.
Do you think, though, that you will actually get the numbers? So for people who don't have encyclopedic knowledge of the Labour Party's rules, you need 80 MPs to say, yes, sure, Catherine, if the cabinet doesn't move, we would back you in order to trigger a contest. And we spoke to quite a lot of backbenchers about this, and some said, look, you've got more chance of Spurs winning the football than you have of getting the numbers, although...
Oh, don't do the Keir Starmer awkward fucking culture reference. Don't do that. By the way, well done Celtic on beating Rangers today. Fuck yes.
Did you see, speaking of Celtic, did you see that they were trying to smear Zach Polanski for retweets again because he'd retweeted Tay Hickey? And they basically went back through Tay Hickey's old tweets and found him saying HH, pretending that Zach Polanski was tweeting somebody saying Heil Hitler. When I'm like, no, he's a Celtic fan. It means hail, hail.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing here, chat?
Literally. Yeah. Also, don't pull her up on the pronunciation of the Irish name there. Just let it be. She's Angloid. She can't help it.
MPs did say, well, credit to you, perhaps the support will be there. Do you think you'll get the numbers?
I'm a fair person. I will hear what the Prime Minister's got to say tomorrow, and then if I'm still dissatisfied, I will put out my email to the Parliamentary Labour Party asking for names. And the reason I am doing that is not for me, it's for working people, because Labour is the only party that can beat reform. We are the only national force that can take on reform across the whole of the UK. And that...
Really? Because it does appear you just got your arse handed to you by Reform and everyone else all across the country.
And the Greens got more votes in terms of the projected vote share, right?
Yeah.
And if this was on a national level, the
Yeah.
prediction is that the Greens would be ahead of Labour in terms of the overall vote share. So she's just chatting bullshit. And on top of this, right? On top of this, there's the line that Paul Mason was going, which is that Starmer should stick on, and the message should be vote Labour to beat Reform. And I'm like, how did that work in Gorton and Denton?
Yeah, I was about to say, they already have beaten Reform. Yeah, that already happened. Now, is that replicatable? Yeah, anyway.
Replicable.
Yeah, fuck's sake, I can't say it. It's there you go. I've got a lexical gap or whatever. Anyway, the point being, can they do that across the country? Who knows? Like, there are going to be parts of the country where the Greens don't quite have the reach. And they don't have a functioning party in all places necessarily, because the boom in members is relatively new. So setting up that foundation in those local communities is going to be difficult. But they certainly can in major parts of the country, as we saw in Manchester and Birmingham. They've just fucking become the second largest party on the council. Yeah, so and in London, they took fucking Keir Starmer's council. The council leader, where Keir Starmer lives, not Downing Street in St Pancras in Holborn. Literally, the council leader there lost his seat. The Labour council leader lost his seat.
I mean, there's lots of these. This has happened everywhere. And again, I just wish I was there at the counts to watch them crying.
You know who also lost their seat? John Cotton, the former leader of Birmingham Council. Maybe don't ask people to cross picket lines, and then maybe trade unionists will turn out and campaign for you.
Yeah, I can't believe anyone campaigned for Labour in Birmingham. Although it was funny looking at the local election, seeing how many MPs they had door knocking. I was just like, failing to muster the troops, are we?
I was about to say, no one did campaign. Because I'm obviously out and about all the time, and you see like groups of people from this party and that party. Labour really weren't out in this city because they don't have any fucking members anymore. And the unions weren't going to pick up the slack anymore because, fuck it, you've literally been asking people to cross their picket lines. They're not going to fucking campaign for you. Yeah.
That will be the job coming up in the 2028 or 29 general election.
But do you think you'd get the numbers?
We need to take that seriously.
Do you think you'd get the numbers, though?
We will find out when I put out my email to the Parliamentary Labour Party. But what we need is that timetable from the chair of the party, and she and I are very good friends. She knows I've asked her for an orderly transition into a leadership election.
Okay, but don't mention transition around Streeting because he might actually explode.
Literally.
Which will allow us to make the case to the country as well as to our colleagues so that we can go forward. And I say to the women of the Parliamentary Labour Party, don't just allow the men to stand.
Do you think that...
Fucking hell. The id poll is going to kill us. They're going to get Bridget Phillipson just because she's got a fucking minge. That's it.
I mean, again, I think it is important that Labour need to have a woman as being leader at some point. I think that is an important point of representation there. And I'm just like, the current crop of people, I mean, they're all bad. Like, everyone, men or women, they're all just bad. I mean, I guess Angelina's like the least shit, even though she's still shit. Like,
yeah, they are all terrible. You know who they could elect, just for the lols? Diane Abbott.
Oh my god, imagine if she stood.
She did last time, didn't she?
Yeah, well, she was 20, wasn't it 2015?
Oh, well, she stood at some point, yes. Yeah.
It was John McDonnell in 2010, and obviously Jeremy Corbyn was 2015. It was Diane Abbott in 2010, I think it was, or 2008, I think, when 2007?
Who knows?
Yeah. It was Clive Lewis in 2020.
Well, there wasn't one in 2008. Wasn't there just a coronation of Brown? I think, if I recall correctly.
I think John McDonnell tried to and didn't get the nominations.
You know what he needed? More strongly worded letters. That's what he needed.
So true. Like, no, the strongly worded letters of nomination, clearly. Yeah, elected unopposed candidates. John McDonnell were the only candidates, but John McDonnell did not get there.
Yeah, John McDonnell is massively cocked, chat. Just for clarification, like he's like, oh, I'm not sure we should challenge Keir Starmer at this point. We should take some time to try and. You're a fucking knob.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you're a dickhead, mate. Sit the fuck down and shut up.
That's what's happening.
Sorry, MP YouTube enjoyer in chat says, long time no stream. Can ask for a basic summary of the last elections for a non-Brit. Labour got fucked.
Yeah.
They literally got Eiffel Towered by Reform and
they got basically they're like the meme of the, I don't know her name, but the white woman, and then there's like 7 black guys behind her. But all of those parties are literally absolutely spit roasting.
That's Plaid Cymru, the SNP, Reform, and the Greens, and indeed somehow the Liberal Democrats as well.
Chat, I've just given you the most obvious meme to create. Have at it.
To modernise. I think we're looking very dated, and I think we need to energise our communications, and we need to repair the relationship with the civil service.
And just lastly, there are suggestions in this morning's papers and in some of the BBC's reporting as well that some people from some of the leadership camps, including Andy Burnham's camps, have urged you to pull back from doing this. Is that true?
When the orderly timetable is provided by the chair of the party, we will understand who are the runners and riders. But at the moment, what I am diagnosing is we have a problem, we have to move quickly to fix it, because otherwise it will lead to uncertainty, and we need to install a new leader who can take us towards beating Reform in the general election to come give us a second term.
Did that happen, though? Have people tried to put pressure on you from Andy Burnham's camp
I've had
not
lots
to do
of
this?
interest, but I haven't actually formally asked for support until I've heard what the Prime Minister says.
Oh, God, you're just like them. Answer the fucking question. I fucking hate politicians so much. Just answer the fucking question. Or say, I don't want to tell you that. Which would at least be honest.
Honestly, at least that's one of the most refreshing things about Zach Polanski is he just fucking answers the question.
Yeah, he will just say yes or no. If the answer is yes or no. Look, it is genuinely a breath of fresh air. Whereas these dickheads will just say a million words and give you no information.
And I've got that timetable from the chair of the Labour Party, which will give us all a sense that there is a direction towards the change of the party.
OK, Catherine West, thanks very much indeed for coming in and speaking to us this morning. Well, will they or won't they? We have spoken to Labour backbenchers, and it's fair to say responses to Catherine range from it would be crackers to try something like this to suggesting that she would have the numbers because anger in the parliamentary party at Keir Starmer is so strong. One minister told me
if you're a member of the Labour Party, if you're a sitting MP, looking at those results, looking at the polls, looking at the public sentiment towards your party, and you're not angry with Keir Starmer, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how have you become a politician if, like, your instincts are so bad? You are looking at the heat death of the Labour Party in real time and going, this is fine. Nothing to do with the dear leader at all. Like, I know you've been self-selected to be loyal to Keir Starmer, but come on, at least have some sense of self-preservation. Yeah,
the turkeys are not sure whether they should get rid of Matthews at all. Who knows? On the subject of spit roasting, I recently saw someone say that gay spit roast should be called a brotisserie, and I'm never going back. That's really cool. A brotisserie. Let's go. Well, a new phrase has entered the chat.
They wouldn't resign to back her, but said, I hope this moves things on. But there are not signs at the moment that the Cabinet will act to push the Prime Minister. What will he have to say tomorrow, and could he get MPs on side? Welcome to you, Bridget Phillipson, Education Secretary, on this.
What he needs to do, I've told him this. I spoke to him personally. I said, crack out the ukulele. Get the ukulele apology out.
Toxic leadership train.
I'm on the toxic Starmer train.
tricky weekend for your party. So you told us at the beginning that you don't agree with Catherine. But why not, given how bad things have been this week?
Things have been really bad, and I'm not going to come in here and pretend otherwise. You know, we got a real kicking. Keir knows that, I know that, and people are really hurting. We lost many, many good people across our country, including in my community, who fought really hard.
You lost some fucking losers as well, though. Lost some absolute pricks. That woman, I forget her name, actually, that appeared in that documentary about how the anti-Semitism in Corbyn's Labour Party, and they didn't tell us that she used to work for the Israeli embassy.
literally.
She was a councillor. She lost.
She's gone. Yes.
Yeah.
Injected into my fucking veins.
Absolutely beautiful stuff. So yeah, they probably did lose some good people, but they lost some absolute melters as well. So
done fantastic things for their local community, and they weren't elected, and that's because of, you know, some of these national challenges that we're seeing. So I'm not going to come on here and say that there aren't big and serious issues that we have to address. We can and we will, but I just do not believe that the message we should take from these elections is that we ought to spend time as a party amongst ourselves, arguing amongst ourselves, fighting amongst ourselves. We do need to tell a better story. Need to deliver.
Pause, Kev. Oh my god. So there's been a leak of at least part of Starmer's speech tomorrow.
Oh yes, give it to me.
So literally, it's a bunch of meaningless fucking pablum, as of course it would be.
Of course it is, yeah.
Increments. We need to meet the challenges with no incremental change. We need to have growth, blah, 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 whatever. Like how you do it, why you're doing it, for whatever. That means meaningless. Strength through fairness, he's talking about. People need hope, and we build it through Labour values. What are those values? People still don't know. The best part of all of this part, this Labour government will be defined by rebuilding our relationship and by putting Britain at the heart of Europe, so that we are stronger on the economy, etc., etc. Standing shoulder to shoulder with the countries that most share our interests, that's the Labour choice. I'm like, you just lost a set of local elections, and it's an important point made by John Curtis. It's all the places where Labour got absolutely trounced, all Leave voting areas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All Leave voting areas, and you're making your single fucking North Star of reset number fucking 50,000. Yeah. We're gonna do a Lib Dem. We're gonna rejoin the European. We're gonna.
Keir, it's been bad knowing you, but it's over. You're dead. You're literally dead. Go away. I don't know what else to say. It's over, mate.
I can't believe we're gonna be relitigating fucking EU again.
Yeah, like, again, I could have predicted that he was going to... Because nothing about him suggests he can do anything interesting. So there wasn't going to be some big thing. Like, at least if he'd come out and said, look, if you wanted to make it all about being pro-EU or whatever, have the bollocks to come out and say, you know what, we're rejoining the EU. Or we're going to have a referendum. Fuck it. Look, do something ballsy. Do something. Do anything to try and turn it around. But no,
if they had a referendum, we'd stop talking about Keir Starmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, literally, take the initiative and do anything. No, just go. Oh, meaningless platitude, thing that will alienate everyone. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the strategy.
It's just so, honestly, I remember that Carl Turner interview when he was just like, why are they doing things with the daftness of the daftness you ever heard in your life?
Yeah.
And like he was referring to like the jury trial stuff, and it's like it's so many things that are just insane open own goals, right? They didn't need to do. No one was asking for. No one cared about. Would do very little and just poll incredibly badly. No one wanted ID cards. Nobody wanted scrapping jury trials. Nobody wanted any of this. They could have just not done that and just like change stuff about the economy, and people would have been like fine.
Yeah.
They just why have they? It's just again, presumably again they're only doing this awful authoritarian shit because that's their true politics. Because no one asked them to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like again, they could have done anything. They've got the kind of majority that makes you essentially unassailable. And what they decided to do with that was just, at best, tinkering around the edges, and at worst, genuinely outright evil. Brilliant. I wonder why no one wants to vote for that. You gave them a really compelling story, which is vote for anyone but us.
Faster. You know, people in 2024 wanted to see a better country. They voted for change, and they don't feel that we have delivered on that change. And that's what has to...
That's it. Ella Rose Jacobs. That's her name, yeah. She lost her seat. Came fourth as well. Dickhead.
What we have to, what we have to understand, and just to give kind of one brief example of the kind of conversation I had on the doors. Look, some people are angry with us. A lot of people, I would say, just really feel bitterly let down and disappointed about...
By the way, that microphone noise, that wasn't me. That was Laura Koonsberg.
Good. Love this high-quality journalism.
Like, because understandably, you'd think, well, Kev's an amateur, so maybe he just knocked into the microphone. I do it regularly. On that occasion, that was the professional British Broadcasting Corporation production, Laura Koonsberg. Brilliant. Well done.
Our failure to get on and deliver the scale of what they wanted when they voted Labour in 2024. One woman I spoke to in Sunderland, quite typical, who said she'd voted Labour in every election, but this time she was seriously considering not voting at all because she knew that, in her words, she knew that the last lot were, and I won't use the language she used, it was quite fruity, were terrible, and that we had a big job ahead of us, but she...
Was shit. They were shit. She said they were shit.
Didn't feel that the change that she wanted to see was happening. Now
But that's exactly the point, isn't it? Voters have told you in their millions that it is not good enough. And I just want to read you just said you have to go faster.
It isn't good enough. I don't disagree with that.
But this is what you said this time last year. You said we want to go further and faster. That's literally what ministers are now saying. Your colleague...
Yeah, because what they're going to do is say they want to go further and faster, and then they won't. And then, get this, when they lose the next set of elections, they'll say, we want to go further and faster. And then they won't. But then you'll never guess the strategy after that. They'll just keep fucking losing and die as a party.
Literally, it's like in the speech apparently going to do tomorrow. It's like we need to actually have radical change because we're living in unprecedented times. We were living in unprecedented times in fucking 2021.
Also,
2008, we're living in unprecedented times. Like you should have recognised this before getting fucking elected.
Well, and not just that, but like the radical change he's going to do is getting rid of like all jury trials. It's just going to be the worst piece of shit ever. I genuinely can't wait to see how bad the King's speech is going to be. It's going to be amazing. Which for Americans is, because we live in a democracy, the unelected person who is only king is only the head of state because he came out the right set of bollocks and ovaries, right? That's a democracy, definitely. He gives a speech that the government give him to read in front of the parliamentarians, and that's how governments do things. That's
a royal proclamation, let's go.
Yeah. In 2026, not 1226. Oh, no.
Wes Streeting said this time last year, give us the benefit of the doubt. You've had the benefit of the doubt. You've had another 12 months. Isn't it then, as some people in your party feel, time to do something very different, and that means a different leader?
Well, people are really hurting this morning and have been all weekend. So I do understand that. I share that sentiment, and it is a big responsibility on all of us.
But literally everyone in this country fucking hates him. Why you keep clinging to him? I just don't know why they don't get it.
Yeah. Ella Rose Jacobs is also national chair of the Labour Jewish movement. One of her colleagues, the JLM member, was a convicted paedophile, which of course it is. An Israeli front group, Nonce Wakanda, was obviously going to have nonces in it. Yeah, of course it was.
Us to show the people of this country that this Labour government is on their side. And when we haven't told that story as well as we should. And you say what I said a year ago.
Yeah.
In that year, we have achieved an awful lot. Whether that's lifting the two-child limit, delivering on workers' rights, the Renters' Rights Act that will give a real security for people in their homes. But has that message got across? Have we told a strong...
Oh, Jesus Christ. They genuinely think it's just comms. No, not to underestimate how bad the comms are, and they are atrocious. But even if you had the best comms team in the world, even if Alistair Campbell in his pomp was running the game he ran for a decade, look, he did really well. Machiavellian piece of evil shit that he is, he did very well in keeping the Blair train running. Even if you had that, even if you had the best of the best, your policies are shit and your leaders are dislikable, irrelevant idiots.
You got no fans.
You got no fans. Your stadium is shit. Do you want some? I'll give it to you.
It's just
to quote the man that should be Prime Minister, the Wealdstone Raider.
Honestly, you've just like anyone could do a better job, and literally anyone.
Ronnie Pickering. He's got name brand recognition, but more people have heard of Ronnie Pickering than have heard of Al Carnes. I fucking guarantee you.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Enough story about who we are and what we're about and what this Labour Party is delivering. No, we haven't. And this is the point at which we absolutely have to do that. The Prime Minister gets that. He knows that. I know that too. We all know that. And this is a perilous moment for our country. When we see the forces of the right in the shape of reform, when we see what they're peddling, it is only the Labour Party as a genuinely national...
I'm sorry, you don't get to do this line when you've spent the time... Like, you're literally in the process of doing the things that Reform want to do in terms of taking away people's right to remain and fucking opening concentration camps and all of this evil shit. And Keir Starmer literally came out with the fucking rivers of blood shit. I'm sorry, you don't get to claim to be like, oh, we're the liberal nice people. Not these scary, terrible, evil far-rightists. Motherfucker, you've been doing that shit. Shabana Mahmood, one of the most authoritarian Home Secretaries we've ever seen. And that's following on from, like, Priti Patel.
Yeah, it's true.
Fucking hell.
Party that can bring our often quite divided country back together. And just one final thing on that point.
Okay, well, hold on. You have brought a very divided country together, Bridget. That's certainly true. In hating everything and everyone in your party.
Yeah, not your party, the Labour Party. Honestly, oh, Jeremy, you knob.
I am really concerned about the scale of division that we see in our country. And we see it really sharply. Hang on, we see it really sharply with...
What do you mean, hang on? This is not monologue time. Well, thankfully, we've got an award-winning journalist who is being shushed like a noisy child. No, Mummy's talking. Mummy's talking. She's going to complete her sentence, okay? Otherwise, you know what? No television time.
With the likes of Reform, where they did incredibly well in Sunderland. Credit to them. They've done incredibly well. But where one of the candidates, who's now a councillor, has been elected, he said that we should melt down Nigerians to fill in potholes. This is the kind of racism and division that is so perilous. And I hope you will ask it. I hope you will ask him about those awful incidents. It is about what we do.
Well, interestingly, I don't know if you watched Question Time. I did, and they had Rachel Millwood, the joint deputy leader, on. She did okay. I thought she did quite well, but she was questioned about anti-Semitism within the Green Party, naturally, because that's what the establishment are going with. Interestingly, they also had on Zia Youssef, and they didn't ask him about the Holocaust deniers that were elected in his party.
No, they didn't. They didn't do that. Very weird.
Chat.
The one who said that they should melt down Nigerians to fill potholes.
Fundamental misunderstanding of what Nigerians are made of as well. Human beings do not melt. Well, unless they're in the Labour Party. Because they melt. Just,
but it is about the contrast as well.
This morning, people want to hear how you propose as a government to deal with being absolutely hammered at the ballot box. And the problem you've got is that there is a growing number of your own MPs who don't think that Keir Starmer is capable of doing that. Here's the number, about 30 MPs. One of them, Clive Betts, he's not a serial, usual suspect rebel. He said, people told him we'd like to vote Labour again, but not while Keir is the leader. Another MP, Sarah Owen, said unless he delivers change and connects with the public on a human level, he cannot lead us into...
Was that the...
Look, he's not human. He's a lizard.
Oh, yeah. Was that the rolling credits at the end of the film? That film being the Labour Party?
To another election. So what's the Prime Minister going to do differently?
So as you set out in the programme, yes, he will be setting out how he intends to address that. But this is not just about...
You what, sorry?
You cut out a bit there. Sorry, Kev. My internet went down.
Oh, okay. Are we back? Do you want me to...
I'm back now. You said something about... You make a joke about Keir Starmer and then I missed it.
Well, it was only a joke, so we don't need to bother. And I can't remember what I said. But anyway, did you get what Bridget Phillipson said, though? Because it was really important
No.
and worthwhile. Okay. Well, we'll skip back 10 seconds then.
Going to do differently?
So, as you set out in the programme, yes, he will be setting out how he intends to address that.
You
But it's
scroll
not,
up a
this
bit,
is not
Wayne.
just about...
Pardon?
Or down, sorry. You scroll down a little bit, sorry.
Scroll down? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Ignore me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. You scroll right to the top and let me rejig my thing.
No, that's where it was. Yeah, sorry.
Wait, it wasn't. For some reason, it wasn't before, and that's when I said it. But I will fix it now.
Okie doke.
There we go. Yeah, sorted.
about one speech or one intervention.
So what's he going to do
We
differently?
have the King's speech coming up just this week, where we will set.
Why would the King have a peach? Why not other types of fruit?
Very strawberry phobic.
Weeks away, very anti-Semitic is what it is.
Out the bold and ambitious agenda for how we will deliver on the scale of what people wanted in 2024. We have to reflect on, I think, we suffered a devastating general election defeat in 2019. We turned that over and we got a huge majority in 2024.
With many fewer votes. Just saying.
But I recognise how some of that came about. And that was because of very long-standing and deep challenges that our country faces. I will answer your question directly.
People will want you to. What is the Prime Minister going to do differently?
Look, I will answer it, but there is a context here. And the context is, we were elected in 2024, having overturned a huge Tory win in that election. But at that election, when we won that majority, a big majority, but a fragile majority, because it was in part a...
Oh, really? It's a fragile majority. You realise that now? Yeah? It's not the big, massive Keir Starmer landslide fucking super-duper Labour palooza that we were led to believe.
I mean, it's really a really important point, actually, insofar as, like, of course there are a bunch of reasons why Labour have incinerated public goodwill in them because of all the bad things that they've done. But there's also just an existential point about the fact that 2/3 of the country don't want these people in government.
Yeah.
Two-thirds of the people explicitly did not vote for them at the ballot box, right? They have the lowest vote share that's given a majority ever in British political history.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, they already have negative polarization because they have dictatorial power and very few people who actually want them to be there. I mean, in fact, loads of people probably voted for them because they were voting tactically.
Yeah.
Some people only voted because they were just like the default option rather than the Tories. So they have not just a majority built on sand, but they have an entire... they are opposed to the politics of 2/3 of the country. They can't effectively govern. They can't effectively govern at all. And this is why first past the post has to go.
Yeah.
We cannot have a system where at the next election, potentially, like, we'll have even more electors elected on a platform, like on shares of the vote even lower.
Yeah.
We might get people at, like, on 27, 26%, which is what Reform are polling at currently. They would be able to get, like, almost a majority. Like, 29% probably would get them a majority. Sub 30%, where more than 2/3 of the country oppose them and they'd have dictatorial power. This is not a democracy. It's not a democracy right now.
Yep.
It's not a democracy at all. We can't continue to have people represented by people who they do not want there. The system has to go. We need to have electorally representative governments that are agreements between parties that have a majority in terms of the percentage of the vote. And until that happens, we will continue to have government after government after government that does things that everybody hates because no one wanted them to, because they don't have enough support.
Yeah. It was delightful being on with you, Katie, last night. Yeah. Everyone go follow Mad Cat Scutty Eye / Katie Marshall on the various platforms.
Also, there are 500 of you watching.
Wowza.
On my end, which is crazy stuff. Clearly, everyone's interested in the politics now. All the mess is happening, right? If you're enjoying the stream, you can become a member for just 99p. It's cheaper than a can of Red Stripe. You can also, it gets you access to archive live streams and my emotes in the YouTube chat. You can also donate memberships to your fellow viewers by gifting, which helps boost the stream and the algorithm and spread the love around. And you can also super chat to have your message read out on the stream as well. And likewise, you can do the same for Kevin too. So many opportunities to give us money.
You can indeed. Thank you to everyone who has given me stuff. I won't bother reading it out because I've got a friend on, and as streamers, we're much more important than you. So I mean, just, you know.
Response to the enormous failures that we'd seen over many decades.
With respect,
no, I will answer you directly now. Okay, there is a context. It does matter.
Could you stop talking to the entire nation like we're 7? You don't have to chastise us for asking you questions. I will answer your question, okay? But your tone of voice needs to just come down a little bit, okay? Like, you patronising cunt. The fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, I just hate these people because they really do not get that they're there at the behest of the public. They really do not get it. Well, thank you, Keir for the 5 gifties. Thank you, Henry VIII Fake, for the 50 gifties. It was incredibly generous. Thank you.
Nice.
But like, it's just they don't realise that they are there at the behest of the public that they serve. Yep. They are literally at the behest of the public that they serve, and they just do not get it. Which is why they treat us like which is why they treat us like we're fucking children. Yep. It's because they think that they're there to lord over us rather than serve us, and I'm fucking sick of it. Yep. There's a really important clip actually that this was reminded me of. Let me just DM it to you so that you can enjoy my frustration filtered through a question time clip from 2010. This is how fucking long these pricks have been continually ever present in politics. Also, thank you, Henry VIII Fake, for another 50 gifties. Thank you, very very generous donation. I'm absolutely blown away.
Well, presumably they got that from the dissolution of the monasteries. All that monarchy.
So true.
Henry VIII puns, everyone. You're very fucking welcome. What have we got here?
I was watching an H. Bomber guy video last night, and he said that the phrase on next video, I'll undo even more catechisms. And I was like, this guy, he really gets the jokes that I want to have made at me.
The woman there in the third row from the back.
I just wonder whether you think we're all ignorant and whether you really think that little of us, that you just can't answer questions. We have a right to answer. We saw it tonight. Teflon Dave, nothing sticks. He doesn't actually answer anything despite constant questions. Ed Balls, you're just as bad. You constantly say, I hear you, but, or however, just answer the questions because you're just making a mockery of the whole system.
What about him?
Well, to be fair...
Oh, Vince Cable. Oh, I do hope you suffer for the things you did in government, you evil piece of shit.
I have to say, my overriding kind of opinion of tonight and the debate was that what we saw was we were so busy focusing on David Cameron and Gordon Brown bickering at each other that suddenly there's Nick Clegg in the middle and we forget to actually put him under as much scrutiny as the other two.
And what is it, sorry, since you're so passionate about it, what is it you feel you're not being told?
The whole lot, basically. I mean, we've asked directly, where's the rest of this money coming from? Will you have an increase in VAT? And you can't get a straight answer. It's as though you're treating us like we're ignorant. And you work for us. We pay for you. You're here to represent us.
Yeah. Absolutely based and retweeted. Let's fucking go.
Literally, you know what? There was a rise in VAT. It went from 17.5% to 20%. She was right to question the fact they weren't answering because the reality was they didn't want to fucking tell you. They didn't want to tell you. They want to make any promises because they thought they might lose them votes. Literally every single time they do this. Our politics has been fucked up for so fucking long.
Yep. A professional class of liars. Not lawyers, liars.
Oh, wow, well, yeah, in which case we must have a human rights liar in chief.
We literally do.
It is important. There are long-term challenges and people want to see action on that. So, to take another example today, the challenge that we're seeing around poor performance in many parts of our country around education, the fact that people feel that government can't and won't deliver, that is the enormity of what we have to rise to.
Secretary of State, forgive me.
It is in part about this.
Well, it's the won't that really aggravates me. Like, if you try and fail, that's something, but you're not even trying. You're not doing anything.
Whoa. I think you'll find they're fixing the foundations, Kevin. How dare you? Ye of little faith.
Honestly, we're going to turn the corner and find the roadmap for the change, and it's going to be the change, and the change. Yeah.
What was the phrase that he used one time when he was asked what he was going to do in government? He just said like the word change 5 times.
Yeah, it was like I'm going to bring the change, and that's the change I'm going to be, or something like that. Yeah, it was.
We will change the things that needs changing, and that's the change that will bring about.
Oh, so much change. Honestly, Baldrick was right. He really was.
Simple day-to-day things that when you knock on doors, people say, "I just can't get by. I can't afford to go on holiday. I'm worried about the future of our country." The Prime Minister will tell.
She's just talking over her. Like I'm not even going to listen to your question, let alone answer it. Just going to ramble. Honestly, the robots are malfunctioning.
We'll set out a fresh direction for our country and for our party that will rise to the scale of what we face.
But when she says fresh, she means fresh like a newly laid dog shit. You know, that kind of fresh.
We have to be honest about the scale of what we face. I share the impatience that people feel.
You sound very frustrated.
About how nearly 2 years on, people want to see more. I get.
She is annoyed because the plebs are not just agreeing with her politics, and that's not allowed. Because the Labour
They're the
right
sensible
win.
adults in the room.
Exactly.
Like, how could that? Like, again, it's literally the Tom Baldwin bit. It's like the electorate is ungovernable. Matthew Said came out with the same thing on Newsnight the other night as well. Oh, this shows Britain is ungovernable. No, it's not ungovernable. It's fine. You can govern this country. It's possible, right? You're just shit, and your metrics for judging what makes a good fucking politician are clearly out of whack with anyone in the public because you're not the public. As journalists, you are totally insulated from the reality of public life. Like, Sophie Ridge went to Tameside, went to Ashton to speak to voters. Oh, this is a real eye-opener. People in Tameside are really frustrated. They're really angry with Keir Starmer. I could have told you that. I could have told you these people are angry and frustrated in 2012, in 2011, in 2009,
and
right?
that, I mean, it's not just patronising that they go there just in an election and they go, oh, it's like a kind of a poverty safari that they go and do in these places. Which, to be fair, Aaron Bastani sort of did that in Brum as well. I'm just going to say, but let's not focus on it too much. The point being, he's a Londoner. I'm just saying, right? He doesn't go north of Watford that often, does he? Just saying.
He's literally in Portsmouth, so he's literally South Coast.
Well, there you go. He's even worse. He's not even as far north as London. Anyway. No, but he's not the worst of it at all by any means. But they'll send, like, some Newsnight cunt to fucking Middlesbrough or something, right? And they do this thing. And it's because they don't have any interest in these people. Otherwise, they'd go there more regularly. They'd go there in between elections. Back when, like, the serious politics of Westminster isn't being directly affected by the thoughts of the people of Carlisle. Or something, you know what I mean? Like, but they don't care. They're not interested in what these people actually have to say. It's just an inconvenience that we let these paupers of Sheffield decide things in Westminster. It's a disgrace, And that's their attitude,
Well, also, like, there are lots of people who probably don't travel around the country very often. I'm kind of blessed with the fact that I have played Magic the Gathering in loads of towns across the country, and I have experienced this stuff. Some people just stay in the same area for a long time, and you know what? That's fine. But as journalists, right, it's literally your job to find out what the country thinks. Yeah. You're literally supposed to be able to give, like, a complete breakdown of what the country thinks, and it's all Westminster.
Yeah,
it's all fucking SW1.
They don't understand what the country is, because again, they don't travel outside of the home counties virtually ever. So they're not interested in what the people have to say, and they don't know what these people think, which is why they were all so massively shocked when Brexit happened, because they never talked to these people. They never were interested in what they had to say, and so come election time, they went, well, fuck you then.
Yeah, literally, it's like the same when Keir Starmer was routed by his own MPs over the PIP cuts.
Yeah.
And the fucking SW1 line was, it's bad for Starmer. It shows that he can't command or have the authority over his backbenchers. I'm like, first of all, but he is supposed to answer to his backbenchers. He is there on their fucking authority as the person with the confidence of the House of Commons, not the other way around, right? This is how this is supposed to work, because they can remove him if they come together at any point should they want to do so, right? That's how that works. Second of all, that's not why people were angry, why Keir Starmer lost support. They lost support because he declared to the country he was going to balance the books on people who couldn't fucking wash. I'm sorry, like the idea that the SON's so totally fucking divorced from reality, and it's all caught up in like the toing and froing of the Commons, that they couldn't even like fucking, they couldn't for one moment even contemplate the idea that being a fucking cunt to the disabled was somehow disqualifying politically. It never even occurred to them.
Yeah.
Get that. I'm not going to step back from that. But I also have to level with people about the enormity of the decades-long challenges that some of this comes back to. The status quo won't cut it. I
think,
get that.
with respect, Secretary of State, I think people, Labour voters, former Labour voters, your colleagues in the Labour Party this weekend, don't necessarily want to hear a history lesson or have the context. Everybody knows it's difficult, explained again. They want to know what the Prime Minister is actually going to do differently. He's promising that change will come more
Not
quickly.
be Prime
I just want to
Minister.
show people.
Yeah.
That's the different thing that they would like.
The change that he's going to bring, that I want him the change to be, the change is that the change of Prime Minister happens.
literally. Again, like, they are literally supposed to be the popularists, right? The ones who govern based upon what the opinion polls say, the triangulation machines. What do the opinion polls say about whether or not Keir Starmer should resign? What do those say? Turns out everyone wants him fucking gone. That is a majority public opinion now. I thought you cared about public opinion, Labour.
Well, no, they also care about themselves, and that's it. So, you know.
For what happened in Downing Street yesterday, a former Labour Prime Minister turning up in Downing Street. Does this look like change to you when people say that?
even journalists are saying it.
Get donked on, bitch. It's over.
It's so over. It's stover.
Yeah.
It's never been more stover.
You know what we need? A guy who was unelectable in 2010. For the new world.
Lost an election to a sentient ham.
Literally. Lost an election to a man who fucked a porcine creature. Really.
The guy whose act was so revolting, it was parodied by Charlie Brooker.
Literally. But it was pretty base that he called that old lady racist, because she was. Shouldn't have apologised. Should have just doubled down and go, no, she was a cunt. Yeah, fuck her. He might have won. People respect that kind of authority and truthfulness, because no one believed the apology. You were caught on hot mic, so that was your actual true self. We all saw it, so stick with it.
Look, I think Gordon Brown is a tremendous individual who has got a lot to offer. I absolutely do. And I've worked with him really closely on tackling child poverty. And what I would say is...
Well, you've worked very close with him on tackling that, and yet child poverty is higher than it was when you took office. Just saying.
Oh, clear that task force wasn't very successful. Got to have two more.
Yeah, I was about to say, they should have had a Quango to decide on the Quango, to decide on whether child poverty was bad. Yeah.
Whatever the challenges, whatever our failures and shortcomings, and look, there've been plenty. I won't hide from those. I'm upfront about them.
What are they? Because so far the only thing you've admitted is you didn't tell a compelling story. Which, like, I mean, you didn't, but also that no one really cares about that so much as the, like, literally, the entire mood music of this government was, he came in and said, things are going to get worse before they get better. Imagine that. You've just been elected. Things are going to get worse was the first thing he said to the country.
That's expectation management, and then it's just digging your own grave.
I mean, to be fair, that's the one guarantee. That's the one pledge he's made that he stuck to. He said things were going to get worse, and they did. I respect a politician who delivers.
So true, so true. Thing is, what's interesting about the whole "things will get worse" speech from the Keir Starmer gave very early on in his premiership is that what it was supposed to be was a nod to George Osborne, essentially saying the way that you kind of cement yourselves as the party of government is by talking about how things were so bad under the profligate previous administration that we are having to do things that you don't like to show you how bad they are. That's because that's what George Osborne did to justify austerity.
Yeah.
And that was specifically to pander to the kind of voters that Labour had won over at the election by being more centrist, right? The leafy suburban voters who were the only people they've got left at this point, because the young voters and the post-industrial voters, they've all deserted them in the last kind of locals, as we saw. But the stupid part of this was that George Osborne wanted to keep this electorate for the long haul because that was the Conservative base electorate in lots of places as well. And yet the Labour Party should have said, well, we've won those people's votes. We don't have to care about them anymore. Let's please what our base wants. And they did the opposite. They leaned so far into the swing voter thing in terms of doing George Osborne, but different, that everybody who hated everything up until then thought, well, we elected you to not do that.
Yeah.
So they all just deserted them immediately. Yeah. Especially given that their first act of it will get worse before it gets better was to means test the winter fuel allowance, which pissed off everybody over the age of 67.
Yep. Well, and virtually everyone under it, because everyone's got an old age pensioner family member who they would like to see not freeze to death. So like it's a bit, people don't like it when you go like, maybe the first thing we need to do is balance the books on the backs of your frozen grandparents' corpses. No, you're all right.
It is only because of a Labour government that we are on course to lift the biggest number of children out of poverty in any parliament.
By keeping them there for the first 18 months of that parliament.
Yeah, but we made the number go up so high that you will thank us for bringing it back down again. It's like Suella Braverman cutting all of the police officers. David Cameron cutting all the police officers. Suella Braverman going, but we increased the number of police officers. Like, yeah, by the amount you cut them during the coalition, right?
Yeah.
Ever. That is the kind of change that comes when you elect Labour governments. That's something I've worked very closely with Gordon Brown on, where he has huge wisdom and expertise. But of course, it is not just about the wisdom and expertise of Gordon Brown, of Harriet Harman. It is about all of us collectively, as a government, as a party, and yes, the Prime Minister too, and he takes responsibility. But I take responsibility.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he doesn't take responsibility.
He says it. He says the words and then doesn't take responsibility.
I'm absolutely fucking sick of hearing it, because he just doesn't. Like, again, like we did that speech where during the run up to the election, where I was just like, if my team gets something wrong, I take the blame for the team, and I'm just like, you've never done this. This never happened one time.
How many members of your team have you fired when things didn't go well, and yet you're the one that takes responsibility for that?
He's literally got more Fall Guys than the video game Fall Guys.
Literally. Oh, Among Us. That's a different
Operation Save Big Keith.
This is not to be shouldered by one person. This is a collective endeavour that we have to make sure that we are telling about the story. I could list off all of the things this Labour government has achieved, but I get that it's not cutting through. I'm not going to do that. I could.
See, they genuinely think they're doing a good job. It's just they're not explaining it to the people are too stupid to understand how great they are.
Literally, it's that's exactly the line, isn't it?
And again, they can't change. That's the thing. It's not just that they won't change; they can't. Because they would involve the introspection to admit that they aren't actually the adults in the room. They can't just govern better because they're not the bad Tories. Yeah, or the bad anti-Semites.
I could give you a very long and ambitious list,
and you have given us some examples.
But it is not resonating, and that's what has to change.
And that's the problem. Will Keir Starmer be leader of the Labour Party at the next general election?
Yes, I do believe
Obviously
that.
not. Fuck off. Don't lie to me.
Yeah. The one direct answer she's given is the biggest lie of the lot. Okay. At least she answered the question, even if it was a blatant lie.
True.
About your day job as Education Secretary. I want to show people...
No one cares. I don't give a... I'm not a school kid. Why should I give a fuck? Talk about Keir Starmer losing his fucking job. Look how happy she is to not talk about Keir Starmer losing his fucking job. If a politician is smiling, you're not doing your job as a journalist.
Social Lindy in chat asks, how many safe seats do Labour have now? 0.
The
answer to that is 0. Holborn and St Pancras isn't safe, right?
Nothing is safe. When you're losing, like, in some places they were losing 50, 60% of the vote. Not of their vote, of the total vote.
Yep.
Nowhere safe. It just isn't. They will win some seats, I imagine. But, like, that's the best you can say at this point, is they'll probably win a handful of seats somewhere.
And like, the vote is spread, like, so thin.
Yeah.
The vote is spread so thin, right? So on a recent poll from Find Out Now, they had the Labour Party on 15%. You know, it predicted that the Labour Party would end up with 9 seats. The projection for that is 9 seats. It would have they would be in 7th place behind Plaid Cymru. It's quite funny.
Imagine the Labour leader having to sit behind Plaid Cymru on the benches. That would be amazing. Oh my God! Please make that happen. Please make Wes Streeting. Oh no, he won't get elected. No, he's going to lose.
No, so I literally, what is very funny to me. So the seats that they would keep, the 9 seats, are
Go on then.
Edinburgh South, because of course Ian Murray would keep his seat, the fucking demon.
Yeah.
Sefton Central, Knowsley, Liverpool Walton, Liverpool West Derby, Liverpool Garston.
It's just Liverpool.
Outer. It's five Liverpool seats. Sefton, which is also Merseyside. 1 in Edinburgh. Bedford.
Yeah, Bedford's weird. Yeah.
York Outer is even weirder, as that was a seat they won this year. It's a Tory stronghold that they won on, like. Let me find the swing. It was crazy stuff. York Outer. It's also like a ring constituency. Literally, it's the outer part of York outside the city centre. It's like a ring around an enclave in the middle. It's very, very strange constituency.
A donut constituency, though.
Yeah, they literally on a 20-point swing. But not just the Tories going down. Labour got 15-point up in the polls on this one.
Mad.
Like,
there must be some weird local demographic situation that leads to this. Then, because that can happen. Like if a place gets gentrified, you know, you can see significant changes of voting.
In the 2010 general election, the main challenger to the Tories in the seat was the Liberal Democrats. So this tells you who votes for Labour now.
Yeah. They are just, at best, the Liberal Democrats, and at worst, the kind of wet Tories.
Yep.
That's it.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
People something pretty unusual.
Like, people wanted to get the Tories out, and they didn't.
That's happened in the last few.
Angela Rayner's intervention today, she literally said we're going to be the party of rich people. And yeah, it's literally true.
I mean, again, you're not going to be. You are.
You are.
Few days. There's schoolgirls in East London protesting against teachers who had gone on strike, and there they are, girls from the Connaught School telling their teachers they should get back to work. Now, one of the teaching unions.
Right, and those children. This is the thing, right? Spare the rod, ruin the child. You need to beat these children and say, no, you little cunts. These are grown adults who are doing a very difficult job of work and should be paid and treated accordingly. Now, fuck off.
This is the union household, goddammit.
Exactly, and also, you little pricks, I'd have loved having a couple of weeks off with a fucking teacher strike. Do you know how much fucking weed I could smoke and football I could play? Let's fucking go. You fucking ungrateful little cunts. I'd have loved it.
To be fair, what I will say, it is actually quite heartwarming to know that the kids really want an education. Maybe the future's going to be all right.
No, it is. No. Right, what this says to me is there's a generation of fucking briefcases coming up. Dickheads. I used to have to wag from school. I used to have to fucking play bonk. Do it the proper way. You just get given time off and you don't even want it, you fucking melters. Honestly, there's not enough bullying. You need to bully these children into behaving normally.
Unions is actually threatening to ballot for industrial.
Exactly. Fucking scab children. This is how you get. This is how you get scab adults. Okay, they need to be taught a fucking lesson.
They say you're not being generous enough with your offer to them. What are you going to do to stop teachers going on strike?
So, on that second point, I think it's wildly premature on their part. We haven't even gone through the peer review process. And we are investing record sums in our schools, and they've had big and generous pay awards. I would say it's disappointing.
I feel like we've kind of run out. We've gone through 20 minutes of this in fucking 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Should we skip Bridget Phillipson talking about education then.
I was going to say, Politico teacher in chat, hello. Ari, the preview of the speech, a Labour MP says, my expectations were on the floor, but it seems he's brought a shovel.
Yeah. He didn't just scrape the bottom of the barrel, he's gone through the barrel and is now tunnelling through the earth. Yes.
Hopefully that's for the hole to hide himself in when he has to face the fucking election.
What, like Saddam Hussein? They're just going to found him in a bunker at Downing Street. Someone find that meme of the red Saddam Hussein body and put a little grey hair thing on it. That has to happen. Make it happen, chat.
Please, chat.
Right, let's skip this. Do we care about Sharon? Actually, yeah, no. Sharon Graham talking about it is of some note, I suppose.
Literally.
The hashtag BBC Laura Kay, and if we can, we'll share some of your views later in the programme. Well then, I think we had two quite frustrated interviewees there during our conversations. Sharon, you have been very unhappy. Did the Education Secretary manage to soothe any of your fears in the last 10 minutes?
Well, no, and, you know, I mean, all credit to her. She's coming out on the Sundays and she's trying to, you know, give a narrative. I mean, I think the problem with...
Yeah, of all of the turds that needed polishing, this was the one you didn't want. This is the worst brief. This is the worst assignment that any minister has ever had.
This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Starmer, you've lost the country!
What's been said here is that if only we told a story better, if only we put all of our achievements down and people don't hear them. If you had the achievements in stereo in everybody's house in Britain, full blast, it still isn't enough.
You know he's a big fan of authoritarianism. Don't give him the idea. Because he will make the 1984 telescreens happen. He's got a big enough majority and a supine enough House of Commons. He could do it.
Enough for what's going on. Of course you can say breakfast clubs are a good thing. Of course you can. But on their own, these achievements are not the same as having a different economic direction and a different political direction. Now, look, the truth of the matter is, and we're dancing around our handbag, is that essentially Keir Starmer will not lead Labour into the next election. That will not happen. I am very sure of that. And so the reality of now...
As Keir himself looms over...
Like how miserable he looks. He knows he's over. Surely he knows it's over. He can't be so bunker mentality at this point he doesn't realise that it's fucking over.
It kind of reminds me of, like, you know when you go into a friend's house and they've got like a really old dog and you just sort of feel bad. You're like, you kind of...
the thing is...
You don't want to be rude and say, like, old Yeller, the old bastard, is suffering. But, like, you also don't want the dog to suffer anymore.
Are you suggesting that someone from Labour Together should take Keir Starmer outside and have him...
No. You don't just randomly shoot. This is not the 1800s. You take him to the vets and have him euthanized.
Well,
and you know,
Kim, the honours.
Yeah. Kim Ledbetter, lead by example and kill the Prime Minister.
No, you're not allowed to say that, Kevin. It's illegal.
It's terrorism. I would never say you should put the Prime Minister down like a mangy dog. It's terrorism.
What I can say is with a mortar launcher, because that's a separate sentence.
That is a completely separate sentence. Yeah. No, I am, of course, joking. No one should kill the Prime Minister. Even if Kid Ledbetter's bloodlust wants to do it, you shouldn't, Kim. Fight it. Fight it with all the power in your cold, dead heart.
They need to think about, I'm much more of a ticks in boxes woman. I want to know what the new person is going to do. Are we going to look at wealth taxes? Are we going to look at things in terms of reindustrialisation? Are we going to look at the bills, the eye-watering energy bills, the food bills that people are having now? There needs to be a short-term and a long-term solution to this, and I want to see that.
And I know the union leaders are demanding to see the Prime Minister this week, but are you, as a group...
Yeah, but who's going to be the Prime Minister next week? We don't know. Could be anyone.
If it's Catherine West, though, imagine the scenes.
That would honestly historic.
Because the unions still pay the Labour Party's bills. Are you, as a group, going to tell him that he has to go? Because he still has lots of support. The cabinet doesn't appear prepared to move.
No, he doesn't have support. What he has is the most spineless set of goons around him. On purpose, they designed it this way. You got through the yum vetting process precisely so that you wouldn't challenge it.
Yeah,
He doesn't have support. What he has is a lack of any will to oppose.
Literally, so true, so true. And again, like, they literally made sure they spent the entirety of the time when they were in opposition clearing out their candidates for prospective MPs based upon their perceived loyalty to Keir Starmer. They wholly rigged the entire system so they would have an entire PLP full of sycophants and loyalists. So that now that we're in a position where Keir Starmer, he's been gone for 6 months.
Yep.
Literally, we knew his political career. Obviously, we knew his political career was over before it started, right? But even in terms of the political discourse publicly, we knew that Keir Starmer's career was basically over as soon as the Mandelson shit came out, right?
Yep.
Over 6 months ago, it was in September. It was in September that shit
And they
got.
and those documents still haven't been released. They will, I think, when the new session starts and the committee sits. That has to be the end of it, because we're going to find out for absolutely definite that he definitely knew. And definitely went, fuck it, we're sending the nonce's best mate anyway. I don't care.
Literally. It's just, we knew his career was on. None of the Labour MPs have moved against him. I'm just like, it's a dead duck, right?
Yep.
Literally, he's the mangy dog.
He is. Kim, you know what to do.
Well, look, I mean, the Chulo group, which is the group that are affiliated, they have different views. I mean, of course, it's a broad church. Personally, for me and my members in Unite, we've already cut our affiliation, as you know, by 40% because they haven't been doing stuff for workers in enough.
Wow. Talk about being... I mean, is there anything more Starmer and tinkering at the edges than going, well, we won't give you all the money, but we will still give you millions? Oh, wow. He's definitely going to listen to you, I'm sure. He's literally prepared to destroy the Labour Party than see anyone else take control of it. So you like mealy mouthed, like, oh, we're only gonna give you 10 million and not 12 million. He didn't give a fuck.
Number of areas. We will be saying that what we want is an ordered transition. And actually, if Keir cares about the country as much as he says he cares about the country, what he needs to do now is to say...
Yeah, but he doesn't, Sharon, and you know he doesn't. You literally... you're not an idiot. You know. Stop pretending. You don't need to. He's not going to be Prime Minister soon. You don't have to suck up to him.
Okay, look, this hasn't worked. You know, I don't want to get into personalities. It's not about personalities. The second part of that...
Well, he would have to have a personality for it to be about that, yeah.
Literally so true.
Equation, though, must be...
Like, people like... well, I would never call his integrity into question. He'd need to have integrity for you to question it.
Yeah.
One cannot question the non-existent.
That we need to see the policy change. That's what people voted for, and quite frankly, we haven't delivered that, and that is a real issue now.
It is easy, though, Nadine, isn't it, for political parties to panic? I mean, it's about 30 MPs. Labour's got more than 400 MPs, and as Sharon was saying, it's not just
but they're on course to be able to have so few MPs. They don't even need to get one of the big mini-cab taxis to work together.
Uber XL do it.
Yeah, exactly. They could get on a fucking tandem.
The person is at the top. It is also about what people are actually seeing and feeling for.
They're going to have so few MPs, they're going to be able to make a barely functional human centipede.
Or from their government. Is there a danger that Labour's just rushing into a panic here?
After what happened on Thursday, this weekend, I think if I were a Labour MP, certainly, they should all, not just 81 of them, they should all be meeting to decide how to remove Keir Starmer as soon as possible. But, you know, listening to Bridget just then, I mean, I think I zoned out after a few moments, to be frank, because she doesn't cut through. And when Labour came to power...
Oh, Kitty's got claws.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is that they haven't delivered anything that they promised when they were elected, which was growth.
Honestly, she's one step away from going, Bridget Phillipson is the most fugly skank in this whole school. Okay?
To see better standards of living. They want...
She's literally even dressed in pink. Oh, my God. Yeah, okay.
To see interest rates come down. They want to see
I
inflation
know.
come down.
Well,
And
those
Labour
things
came
hadn't
in
happened,
promising
until
growth.
the war in the Middle East started.
They promised
blew up again.
growth, but everything Bridget announced talked about just...
And to be fair, the number of homeless children has grown. So
true.
You know.
There, from workers' rights to what they've done with landlords and tenants, she spoke about was anti-growth. It was actually making the economy worse, not better. And
by allowing people some rights when it comes to living in their own home.
It's incredible. Like, you look at Norway, which has significantly higher aggregate growth over this period than what the Tories had when they were in government. And I'm just like, but yet they have all of these kind of protections and workers' rights that we don't have. Like, why were they allowed to grow? Why is it so bad for our economy, but fine for theirs?
People see that. They realise that Labour haven't delivered anything they said they would when they came into power. And that's the difference between Labour and what Reform, who I think are now the government in waiting. That's the difference, because Nigel Farage has been saying this.
Hang on, everywhere you've had government power, you said you were going to cut taxes and then had to beg Keir Starmer to allow, or technically beg the local government minister, to allow you to massively increase taxes. You haven't delivered what you promised. You were given an opportunity and you have allowed a spermatozoa in fucking Warwickshire to take away kids' buses.
The same thing for 30 years.
Like, those kids have a right to fucking complain, not the dickheads at the previous school that we saw. Honestly, I fucking hate those kids.
No, they trust that he's going to deliver what he says he's going to deliver when he arrives in 10 Downing Street, and that's the difference.
Well,
People can see that.
Well, the track record where Reform's had councils already is not all exactly what they promised to be.
I think it's important to say that the reason that we're in a situation, what people say to me is that workers and communities have paid the price, particularly from 2008, after the 2008 crash.
Yeah, when you were in the Tory party, Nadine. Just saying.
Remember that?
We paid the price. We bailed out the banks. That's what working everyday people did. The banks have just made £22 billion in 1 year. They're sitting pretty. But we bailed them out, and that is a core reason in terms of what is going on in Britain. So what people are saying to me is the system is not fair. Now, we had 10 years of austerity.
Was it a vote on the left, though? Because Reform, what you say suggests that there would have been a bigger left-wing vote.
What's interesting, again, is that this is the thing that basically nobody in the country politically has bothered grasping, or they haven't really grasped, I guess, in the mainstream parties, is that 2008 is the crunch point. Everyone kind of bangs on about Brexit, or they bang on about the pandemic, or they bang on about migration. I'm like, it's 2008 is the problem. 2008 is the reason why people want to find something to blame. So they either blame migrants, or they blame the European Union, or they blame whatever it might be, China, or whatever it is. They find a scapegoat because they can't just accept, especially from people who had wholesale accepted that capitalism was a good system, which a lot of older people did in the post kind of 1990s end of history period. And 2008 broke that illusion, except if you believe in the illusion, you'd rather continue believing it and find a way of ensuring yourself that it's still true rather than accepting that it's not. And young people nowadays, we know it's 2008, we know it's the billionaires and the bankers that are the problem here. There's a lot of people who don't realise that is the case. That's why the politicos get obsessed with Brexit, because Brexit was an expression of the fact that in the wake of 2008, when the people who really destroyed the economy weren't held to account, people found any kind of democratic outlet to express their frustration. And at no point since 2008 has anyone accepted this fact. Has anyone bothered pushing back on this stuff? And Labour's failure to take account of that is exactly why they've been, absolutely rejected wholesale by the entire country.
Absolutely. No notes, except to say, it's fascinating to me. Has there ever been a more refutation of a concept than the fact that you can absolutely refer to the 1990s era as the end of history era, as itself a period of history?
Literally.
Like, Fukuyama created a phrase so absurd that it now defines the thing that it said wasn't going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Well done. Although, to be fair, he now also says it was wrong, but whatever,
I can't work out whether the Greens really broke through.
Well, the truth is...
Because you're a fucking idiot. They won like 400 seats. They took big steps forward in major cities across the country. I can't tell if they've won it. Did they break through? I don't know.
Their projected national vote share was second highest out of anybody in terms of what was actually voted upon if you put it to the whole country. Like, they did do well. They did break through. And, they were a lot of reform seats that were won because the Labour vote got split up by the Green vote on the left. I think that's the reality. And even then, just because people are moving to the right doesn't mean you can't sell them left-wing policies.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't mean you can't sell... Because, again, like, the people in these post-industrial towns that are deserting Labour, of course, I do believe that a lot of these people are mostly concerned with immigration, their pension, and their mortgage. But their local area sucking is also a problem, and these post-industrial communities suck because there's no business anymore. Their kids have moved away to the cities where all the jobs are in a service economy, and there's been no industrial strategy from the government to bring jobs back to these places so they can keep their kids within fucking walking distance rather than have to get on like a 2-hour train to be able to see their children. These are all problems, and will also bring business rates back to the country and reinvigorate the economies and local councils, community wealth, all that kind of malarkey. And they've not even bothered trying. And the reason why we're in this position of deindustrialization is because of all the problems that stem from 2008. Over financialization, putting everything in the basket of a giant financial sector without a retirement home attached to it, and the government still haven't broken with that consensus. They may have tweaked a little bit in terms of how the neoliberalism works, and maybe they slightly moved it slightly leftwards, pulled it in a more third way direction. But until that fundamental break of the financialization of our economy, and indeed the financialization of the housing market, these people have been the beneficiary of, not that they will notice that, is again another problem of this country that this government refuses to solve because they have no ambition.
Well, not just that they have no ambition, but they're the servants of capital.
True.
And ultimately, in order to get any kind of positive change, we must destroy neoliberalism.
Yep.
It has to go. It is the ultimate roadblock to any positive change. Even like basic social democratic change can't happen whilst, as you say, everything is just down to the price tag. That's it.
The
Isn't
local
it? Is that
elections.
one of the problems for Labour is that the votes went always on the left. They went to the Greens. On the right and in former, particularly Brexit voting areas. And of course, Nadine, lots of people would think, well, Nigel Farage's promotion of Brexit meant that actually the economy has taken a hit, and that's one of the reasons why the country has so many problems.
But it has, so they've had to prove that.
But Jeremy,
Well, no, it has, Nadine. Come on.
Loads of studies show that this is the case.
And like during the entire Brexit referendum, they were like, well, there might be some short-term pain, but actually it's worth it because freedom and sovereignty and brown people or whatever, right? Just accept it. Yeah, no, it fucked it up a bit, but like, yeah, we got blue passports. Yay.
Sorry, no, whoa. I think if I've got blue passports.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, true. Printed in France.
Yep.
split for Labour and their votes going in different directions. That's a massive challenge,
It's a real challenge, and I wonder whether they need to concentrate on going, and you would probably want this, Sharon, is to going for the people who are tempted to go Green, and the Conservatives actually might want to go for the people who are tempted to go Lib Dem and go into the centre, because I don't think the Conservatives can win back any Reform voters. So we have a...
Yeah, Kemi Badenoch's definitely going to fucking row towards the Liberal Democrat position.
I mean, that is the case, is that she's not doing that, and she will try and win over Reform voters that are essentially running on a platform of trying to fix the problems that her party caused for those voter bases, i.e. letting in 1 million people. Right?
Yeah.
Fine by me. Afghan refugees, Hong Kongers, like, come in. Like, you know, perfectly fine by me. Not fine for Reform voters, though.
Yeah.
Reform voters didn't want that, and therefore they are explicitly running on an anti-Tory platform in terms of immigration, right? Like, you're not going to win those people back. She should move towards the Lib Dems. I think that's right. But
She should, but she's a lunatic. Look, she's a fucking mad Twitter-brained freak. She's not going to fucking do that.
A real situation of shock here, and we mustn't miss out the nations, because the Scottish Parliament election is a revelation, and that what's happened in Wales is extraordinary. And you know, it's so funny watching Catherine West there, because it reminds...
Really? Because you were just saying, like, well, our votes going to the left. Who won in Wales? Was it
Reform, clearly.
Was it the left-wing Plaid Cymru party that are the largest party in Wales? Is there a massive SNP Green, not massive majority, but a majority in the Scottish Parliament? But apparently, no, the left. No one voted for the left. It didn't happen. Nope. Let's just ignore that.
Reminded me of, because I'm old enough to remember, 1988, when a bloke no one had heard of called Sir Anthony Mayer.
I was about, you got there first.
Yeah, so he says, hey everyone, I'm going to challenge Mrs Thatcher. And it was very unfair of you to compare her to Spurs, by the way, because that's unfair on Catherine, obviously. But, you know, everyone said the same thing. They laughed at him, but he took a big enough lump out of Thatcher to mean that a year later
Starting
Heseltine and that was the end of it. So I think it'd be very dangerous to write off what Catherine is doing.
And I do think as well, sorry, because I disagree with that slightly, in that I don't think Labour should go for the Green vote or go for the Reform vote.
Wealth taxes.
They should be well, that's one part of it. It's
But
not the only thing.
reform aren't suggesting wealth taxes.
Reindustrialisation is not something that people are talking about. Public ownership of energy is not something that everybody's talking about. What they need to do is be real Labour.
Sharon, both of those things are being talked about by the Green Party. We are talking about investment in the new technologies of the green future. Again, doing the thing that Labour said they were going to do, but now have not done, of this big energy investment package, Green New Deal, that will create jobs. Those jobs can be done in post-industrial areas to try and bring back some form of prosperity and economic growth in those areas. And we were the ones talking about public ownership. We want to do this via industrial-led investment from the state. And we also want to do this by publicly owning the energy companies and water, etc. That's our position. Sharon.
No.
We don't want to go more green. That is the green, but that's fucking the green platform.
No, the only thing the Greens are talking about is how much they hate Jews.
And how many drugs they want to take. And indeed, apparently, they talk about cock, according to this post I've seen on Twitter.
Which is interesting, given that the Green Party MP that was, Millward, the deputy leader, was questioned by noted gelatin blob Piers Morgan about
YouTuber, I think.
YouTube freak Piers Morgan about women having cocks, because that's a thing that really matters. Definitely, there was a big cock vote at this election that needed to be discussed, wasn't there, Piers? Are we in the pocket of big cock? I don't know.
I mean, I've got a big cock in my pocket. I'm sorry.
Hey-oh!
To go back to what they're supposed to be, stand up for workers, be proud of it, and stop trying to be other things. That's what they need to do now.
I think if Bridget Phillipson was still here, or some people might be shouting at the telly who might say, actually, you've never liked some of the things that Keir Starmer has stood for, and actually Labour has moved on employment rights very significantly. They have done the Renters' Rights Act. They have put up the minimum wage. They have done things. Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm sorry, is this a party political broadcast now?
I mean, it's also worth pointing out that the renters' rights reforms were just kind of fucking cribbed from the Tories anyway.
Yeah. And they've all been watered down, just like with the investment in green energy or whatever. It's all watered down because business didn't like it. Oh, shit. Oh, hang on.
Suggest to them that they've cut through. Phillipson admitted that very openly. But they have given you, Sharon, quite a lot of what you have asked for, have they not?
What the fuck are you talking... Honestly, I hate the fucking establishment media. They're such lying cunts. Oh, they've given you some crumbs from the table. Why aren't you happy? Honestly, Laura Koonsberg, you are a fucking disgrace.
Well, no. I mean, I was the only person.
You didn't want the employment rights?
Well, hang on. I was the only person that voted against the manifesto, as you remember, because I was on your show straight afterwards. And the reason I did that is the scale of the problem. And this is not what's been discussed, is that workers and communities have been in this position since 2008 at least. They have paid for crisis after crisis after crisis, not of their making. They're on, hang on a second, they're on their hands and their knees. They need an economic strategy that is going to deal with that, and they need a political strategy that's going to deal with that. Labour had the opportunity to do it, they haven't done it. That's
Nadine, you want Starmer to stay to help
True.
reform, but if you were a Labour MP, you think he should go. I mean, do you think that where reform is benefiting is something that's actually permanent? Because, of course, if the Labour Party manage to turn things around, well, then maybe you find that reform's a symptom, not a cause.
I think it's permanent and it's definitely going to grow. And can I just add to Jeremy's pathology?
Well, I was about to say, like, I wonder what their long-term future is post-Farage. I'm not sure. There's so many moving parts that it's impossible to say. But I don't see any of the current crop being...
Like Sia Yusuf or remember they had Richard Tice's leader for ages and they went fucking nowhere.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And what fucking Robert Jenrick? You think the public are going to warm to Bobby J?
These elections,
Can I just add to Jeremy's apology? There were still people who voted Conservative. They didn't do quite as badly as we may have hoped they would or thought they would. But I think I know
they did do pretty badly. Like they were wiped out in places. Like they're functionally not a national party anymore.
I mean, there's a really great clip after Gordon and Denton of Patrick Maguire from the Times saying we're witnessing the end of the Labour Party as a going concern in British electoral politics. I'm just like, well, if we weren't seeing it then, we're definitely seeing it now.
Yeah.
Conservatives well, and the Conservatives are nothing if they are not loyal. And I think there are many Conservatives.
And soon they're just going to be nothing.
Who voted Conservative in these local elections, who will now see the way the tide has turned. They will have seen how well Reform did. And I think in a general election, certainly in elections in the future, a lot of those Conservative voters will now take the step and move to Reform.
Jeremy,
our vote share is going to grow.
I think there's an element of truth to that, in a sense that I think everyone on the right now realises that the Reform are the only game in town.
Well, the thing is, there are a bunch of Conservatives who will absolutely point blank refuse to vote for them.
Oh, I'm sure that's true, and that will definitely be a drag on their polling numbers. But they now are in a similar situation that the Labour Party have been in for a while, of being able to say to their potential electorate, "You have to vote for us, otherwise Keir Starmer gets in." You know,
True. I mean, that was their strategy. These locals, it was like vote Reform to sack Starmer. And the thing is, lots of people saying, "Well, we don't actually vote on prime ministers in the local elections." I'm like, but the reality is, if he gets how many, probably does have to go. It's a smart strategy from Reform. They realised that Starmer was the fucking point of inflection here, like on a kind of a grand scale, was pushing so many people away because of just how hated he is personally.
Yeah, it's such a briefcase thing to be like, "Well, he's not technically on the ballot." Oh, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, we know he's not standing for election in the fucking the Broxtowe County Council or whatever. Like, well, it's not a county, but you know what I mean. City Council.
Borough.
Borough.
I think if Starmer survives, it'll be because nobody wants to get back into that thing where we had 5 prime ministers in 6 years, 3 prime ministers in 1 year.
Again, the political understander has got it completely wrong. If he stays, it's because no one had the bollocks to stand up.
Yeah,
that's all. It's got nothing to do with, they didn't want the chaos to affect the country. No, it's because they didn't think they could win.
Yep.
By the way, including Liz Truss. And then we have to have an election because the person who replaces him, everyone's going to say, well, you're not the Prime Minister. And no one wants, in the words of the Bristol lady, another one, another one.
But Gordon Brown,
I'm not sure.
For a second, I thought he was doing Trump then.
I got another one. It's a terrible, terrible thing. How many elections we're having? We can't just find one guy who should lead the country like a king. We'll be able to have lots of individual decisions made with no oversight whatsoever.
It's actually quite good.
Both lasted.
I think with that Bristolian impersonation, I think we have to leave it there, Jeremy. And thank you, all 3 of you, for now.
By the way, Kevin,
the end of...
Yes.
It's now 12:15. Do you want to do the rest of this tomorrow?
That might be a good idea.
We
have been going nearly 3 hours, and we've gotten barely half of this done.
Unless, of course, there's nothing really worth talking about from the rest of this. Like, who's even left to?
Tice.
Dick Lice.
You got Tice, and then Cleverly.
James Stupidly.
Yeah. And then there's the Scottish and Welsh thing. Yarworth I want to hear about. Yeah.
Should we watch actually Tellworth? All we care about is Rena Pureworth. Should we watch Rena Pureworth for the 3 or so minutes presumably they'll put him on for?
Well, they literally did that on Question Time. They did a very unusual thing of having they had Plaid Cymru and an SNP representative there, right? And then halfway through they essentially shooed them out and brought 2 other people in. So they went, well, we've talked to these parochial scum now. They can fuck off back to wherever hovel they've come from. And we can get on talking about English stuff now. Like, they didn't even let them stay for the fucking show. What?
Yep.
Fuck me. I mean, honestly, is it any wonder that the people of Scotland and Wales don't think that London represents them very well?
Over the bar of an overall majority this week, but John Swinney led his party to another victory, which means the SNP will soon enter an astonishing 3rd decade in power at Holyrood.
Lol.
For the 4th election in a row, there is a pro-independence mandate in the new Scottish Parliament. Indeed, there are now more pro-independence MSPs than at any time in the history of the Scottish Parliament.
True. And again, just to reiterate, the mould queen herself, J.K. Rowling, now represented by a trans person. And that, honestly, is the greatest thing to come out of this entire election, I think.
So fucking true.
Honestly, the seething intensifies.
And in Wales, it is all change. After a century of Labour dominance, the Welsh National Party, Plaid Cymru, won the election. Reform had been vying...
But we were just told by the great politics knower and national broadcaster Jeremy Vine that no one voted for the left.
...for the top spot, but they came out on top, making history.
Confident that now we're able to move ahead to deliver that.
Look at this. The likely First Minister ran into a problem already. He was trying to give some...
Why are you talking about a problem? He saw it as a cool thing and did the actual human thing of being like, I won't try and continue with the speech. We'll allow this moment of genuine passion and joy to sit here for just a moment, and we can all, as human beings, soak in a warmth of a victory well won for a people that have been, oppressed by fucking Westminster for centuries. And he just stood back and let it happen. He let the people literally have their voice heard. And then finished his speech. It wasn't a problem. It was fucking awesome. Only at Westminster is an expression of sincere human joy a problem.
Interviews yesterday, but he had to be stopped. He was interrupted by loud singing of the Welsh national anthem. Well, no singing this morning, but Rhun ap Iorwerth joins us from Cardiff. Welcome to the programme. Are you quite sure you're going to be the First Minister? Because
yes. Yeah, because apparently the Labour Party are going to abstain. So literally, like,
really,
yeah,
wow,
yeah. Or at least that's the rumblings. And even
God, it's literally the Fangham debonair refusing to clap of the Senedd this time round.
Well, yeah, literally, but I mean, ultimately, it means he becomes First Minister, and they can avoid accountability by saying, "Well, we didn't vote for him." If it goes badly,
true.
And if it goes well, they can say, "Well, we didn't block him in the national interest." But either way, the Greens will vote for him, so he's fine. Yeah.
Because you do need support from other parties to do so.
We are the largest party by some way in the Senedd in the West.
Look at him beaming. He's fucking happy with himself, isn't he?
Well, you know what? Like, usually that kind of, like, it's not even cockiness, that kind of over happiness in a politician I don't like. But I quite like Rhun ap Iorwerth. He seems like a nice guy. And secondly, like, you know what? Flex King. Be happy.
True.
You just want a fucking massive
true.
thing. Like, you just want a massive victory. Good for you, lad. You know what? You take a moment of being a smug cunt and then get to actually delivering. That's the thing. Yeah. The victory is not the victory. The victory allows you to do something that becomes the true victory.
Welsh Parliament, our expectation is that in the next few days we will be able to go through that very, very important act of affirming my role as First Minister, so we can crack on with doing what we have said we want to do, which is to take Wales forward to the next step in its history. And history has been made in this election, we know.
It certainly has.
Honestly, you know what, Flex? I like it. History's been made. I made history, you fuckers. Beautiful. Beautiful. Honestly, I'd buy him a pint. I would.
I mean, you told us a few weeks ago that your preference would be to rule as a minority government rather than trying to do formal deals with anybody else. But in order to do that, you might have to give up some of your agenda. So what are you willing to sacrifice?
Well, I think we have a...
Keir Starmer in a Wicker Man.
So true, so true.
That was me. That was me channeling Rhun ap Iorwerth. I'm not saying that because that would be terrorism.
Clearly you were trying to insinuate that people in Wales are a bunch of backward pagans.
Yes, but that's why I like them.
So true, base.
A very clear and focused programme for government, and it was around health and education, it was around job creation, it was around...
Apparently that did happen, by the way. Or not a Wicker Man, but when the Romans turned up at Anglesey, loads of the Druids set themselves on fire on the beach. The Welsh have been mental forever, God bless them.
childcare and standing up for Wales. What we need to do, and I've been as clear as I possibly can be on this, is build that mature, cooperative sense within the Welsh Parliament that can let us move forward on that. We're a Parliament where there has never been an overall majority. That will still be the case now, we know, but that means that the need for people to come together, and I will do everything I can adhering to that spirit which I've spoken widely about of cooperative politics and putting that into action, because this has all got to be about the people of Wales, and we have to come together to make that work.
But do you acknowledge?
Honestly, me and you would come together, Rowan. I'm just saying. You might not be into it. I'm just saying. The offer's there.
That might mean you have to give up some parts of their programme. And I wonder...
If me and him fucked, would that be the ugliest sex that's ever happened? I genuinely think it might be. Like, unless Anne Widdecombe fucked, I don't know, John Prescott or something. Like, I don't know that we've ever had an uglier fucking shag.
For example, if you might give up your hope of spending £500,000 of taxpayers' money to have a commission to look at independence.
Well, that commission is about where we go next for Wales. It's about the tools that we have at our disposal now, the funding that we have at our disposal now, the infrastructure investment that would flow from HS2. We need to have that, detailed look together at how we take Wales forward. And I would expect that other parties wouldn't want to choose stagnation over progress. And that will be the proposal that we are putting on the table under a Plaid Cymru government.
No, you were busy yesterday on the phones, and you spoke to the SNP and also the Sinn Féin, I understand, in Northern Ireland, and
I hope they all went like, fuck yes, lads. I hope they all get together and have a piss up. Love it. Go on.
And talked about cooperation. How are you planning to work together?
I think there are a number of different ways that we can work together. There are ways of looking at policies that we have in common, the way that we use the natural resources off our coasts, for example, where we can work together. But there's a deeper sense than that too, of being able to make a stand together to call for less inequality within these islands. We are
sounding awfully anti-Semitic.
Equality?
Well, are you suggesting that what you should, I don't know, have less poverty? Because that's, I don't know, that sounds a lot like Jew hatred to me.
Union that is not a union of equals, and the stronger we can stand together to make the case to UK government for a new approach to dealing with Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. We'll do that separately. We'll do it. As First Minister of Wales, my loyalty will always be to the people of Wales. But together there is strength too.
And in the Caerphilly by-election that you won, you said very openly that you won.
Honestly, you don't need to inflate his ego. You don't need to remind him of other W's that he's taken. Jesus Christ. The man can only be so erect for so long. It's dangerous.
Honestly, they should gas up the regional politicians, or the national politicians of other countries of the Union significantly more frequently. Honestly, I wish they'd do it with the SNP, except, of course, they will never, ever do it with the SNP.
True. Yeah, exactly. A Celtic union of sorts. They should form a Celtic union and then fucking invade.
Let's go.
I'm just saying, there's precedent, okay?
Whoa. No, it's not an invasion, Kevin. It's not an invasion. It's merely a special military operation to denazify England.
True. Well, honestly, I mean, look, if the Reform Party are not the Azov Battalion of England, I don't know who are. Okay, they need to be dealt with.
Because people came together to stop reform. Do you think that's why you won this time?
What I said after Caerphilly was that when you get nearly half the vote, that is not just a protest or...
What I say after Caerphilly is, that's some nice cheese. See what I did? Because I was eating Caerphilly cheese. Oh, I'm so clever.
A tactical vote, there is a massive...
Maybe don't do these dumb jokes at midnight, Kev. Let's get through it.
Positive vote towards Plaid Cymru, and of course there's a wider context too of people fed up with Labour and wanting to keep reform out of power. The same is true here. Plaid Cymru has won a larger popular vote in this election than any other party in the history of devolution. That
go on, lad.
Be put down to what is happening around the other political.
Literally, he's fucking beaming. He's trying not to smile more broadly than It's amazing. I love it.
Parties, it is about what we say in our determination to stand up for Wales in our programme. But of course, yes, people were turning to us to stop the populist right from getting a foothold and to be that voice for Wales that Labour showed they weren't able to be.
And just lastly, briefly, if you can, I must ask you, because I think people will be wondering, what was it like for you as the leader of Plaid Cymru to stand on the steps in Cardiff and then be interrupted by what seemed to be a spontaneous singing of the national anthem?
I respected the role the media were playing there, and I was giving them all my attention, but I couldn't help but hear the increase in the volume of the anthem around me. Yesterday was a moving day. It was a day of real humility for me. It was wonderful to be there with the family, but all of us had our eyes on what this election, this historic moment means for the future of our nation. I will do everything that I can to give leadership during this exciting time in our nation's story.
Rian Apyor, thank you very much indeed.
Honestly, I hope he isn't a cunt. I hope he doesn't fuck this
Oh
up.
my god, it would be so disappointing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I've got high hopes. Well, not high hopes necessarily, but like I want him to succeed a lot. I really do. It would be so fucking dope. Because I've got connections in Wales and stuff, and there are fucking awesome people who have been done wrong by Westminster for far too fucking long.
Yeah, so true. So absolutely 100% fact.
True. But anyway, I think that's basically the end of that interview. So should we go to bed?
Yes, I would very much like to go to bed. I've done a lot of stuff this weekend, and I'm fucking shattered.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, when you say that, you've been doing cards.
I've been playing cards so hard though, Kevin.
True. Honestly, you've been carding in the room.
At least I've not been adulting in the room, because we all know how well that goes.
True. Okie doke. Let's see who.
Is Riverboat Jack still live on the YouTubes?
Well, I went there yesterday, so I'll mix it up and go somewhere else.
Oh no, President Sunday. I'll go President Sunday.
I'll go left of the box. There you go.
Perfect. Well, everyone go subscribe to Kevin Logan on YouTube. That is an order that you must fulfill. All 400 of you.
Yes, and go and follow No Justice MTG, otherwise me and Ruin Up Yarworth will have sex on your front lawn, and no one wants to see that.
And also, please give us money on Patreon and on YouTube.
That is also a thing.
And also, Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. See you later.
Goodbye.